Good morning, y'all. Good morning. We are here, guys. We're here to get set up for the YFN Melly. We are here to get set up. We're setting up. We're setting up, y'all, so we can be on time. Be on time. We are on time. Hey, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. We are here. Let's see. I'm trying to get this thing together here. They haven't started yet. They're doing a live coverage. I don't know how to make this Yeah, they haven't started yet. We're just gonna wait for a minute. I'm gonna take this down and just have a conversation with you guys. How you guys doing? Gonna set myself up over here to try to be on the side. Let's see, we could put this on a little bit thing here. Let's see. Let me see what other station is showing it, y'all. They have Karen Breed stuff going on too. Y'all know? Did y'all know that? Did y'all know they had Karen Breed? Yeah, another case, some Zachary Young versus CNN. Let's see what else we have. Let's see, we have anything going on? And they're having a funeral today, right? His journey to Atlanta. Jimmy Carter, President Jimmy Carter, journey to Atlanta. Yeah. So today is day 2 of the hearing, because you guys know I'm late. I'm late in all of this. I'm late. All right, we got some folks up in here this morning. Good morning, y'all. It's like back to normal, like back in the days. Oh my God, we got folks up in here. We're gonna make you lose our mind. Up in here. I'm gonna make you said Jarvis Butts. What case is that? We're gonna make you lose my mind. Up in here. I'm gonna make you up in here. The lead defense, ATT, was struck at the MN story. Okay. Let's see what we can read what's going on in the news. I gotta sneeze, y'all. Hold on. Oh my God. God bless me. Hey, viral me, crazy. Everybody's coming up in here. Oh my God. We are up in this room. We are up in this chat this morning. Fireworks. Okay. Somebody had asked me, was I going to be at Yak's hearing tomorrow? Yes, I will be there tomorrow. Thank you for the bless me. But yes, I'll be here, but I won't be streaming anything because I'm gonna be sitting up in there. I'll come back and give you guys what's happened from inside. MCT, I'm curious if they will provide information on the investigation with the attorneys present. Oh, I don't know. My throat itching, y'all. It should be starting now, right? Oh Lord, I could see. Oh, this chat is treacherous. I'm reading the chat. Lord have mercy. They are treacherous over there on Did they start yet, y'all? It's 9:31. Did it start yet? Did they start yet? Hold on. Did Melly start yet? They didn't start yet, did they? Oh, there it is. It's starting now. Hold on. Hold on. Let me put it on. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. There we go. There we go. They're about to start. They were in the wrong courtroom.
March 6th. Not that 10:30. But I can also call Mr. Angel Montes on page. Actually, the week of the second week of March, I believe the judges are at Judicial College. I don't know for sure, but for now, let's not do March 13th, but you have March 6th also. If there's any change, I'm sure you'll get a memo. Next case, call Mr. Angel Montes on page 7 of your docket.
Oh, this is from yesterday, right? Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on. That's from yesterday. Hold on. Hold on a second, y'all. Hold on. That was from yesterday. Where's the one for today? Is that it now? No, that's from yesterday. Are they live yet? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Why am I not seeing it? Oh, is this it? Hold on. This is it. Sorry, my bad. Why am I not seeing it? Hold on. Somebody send me the link. Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Can somebody send me the link? I'm lost. They haven't gone live yet? Somebody's watching it. There it is. There it is now. There we go. There it is now. There we go. I found it. They're not live yet. There we go. There we go. There we go, y'all. Here we go. We finally got it somewhere. That's it, right? That's it right there, right? There it is. I wish I could do my other way. You know what? Let's see if I can go and do it from my laptop, because my laptop has the OBS on it, right? Hold on. My laptop has OBS, and we could see it from OBS, and then take away people's stuff from my. Hold on. Hold on. Hey, Tank. Let's see. All right, y'all. We are here. If he had to switch attorney after all this time, shake my head. We're gonna make them bigger than me. I'm gonna be right here. So I'm gonna be right there in that corner right there. Can you guys hear me? Can y'all hear me loud and clear? Here we go. It started. Do y'all hear them? All right, okay. The judge is not playing yesterday. Yeah. Well, you guys probably gonna have to tell me all about it, because I didn't watch it yesterday. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I didn't watch it. So y'all gotta. I am very new to this case. When they were doing this case, I was doing other cases. So please do not beat me up, because I don't know much about this case. But we're here. We're here as a family. Tell all the folks we're here. Let them know we're here watching this case along with everybody else. So what happened? It's a wild case. You need Do your research, Auntie. It's a wild story. Yeah, I think I will do that, Tank. I'm gonna take some time while I'm off to but the trial doesn't start until September, right? By that time I'll be caught up. September, right? So lots of the, I'm gonna get my CMT is gonna be my teacher. Because when I mean, I'm first to admit when I don't know something, I don't know it. CMT gonna be teaching me some stuff. Yeah, I know about he had a trial, and the trial was a hung jury. I remember that much. But as far as the details of the case, somebody got unalive or murdered in the car, and he was out of the car, and he went home. I don't know. It's something I didn't. I'm not gonna lie. I did not watch this case, so I really don't know much of it. He said because it's a capital murder case that they seeking a death penalty. Why don't they take the death penalty off and just do murder? 2 people got pew pew. Okay, so yeah. Oh, okay, so the death penalty is on the table. You know what? While we wait, let me go ahead on in my computer here and see what I can learn. Like a short. Maybe I listen to Cuff Boy. Cuff Boy will give me a short version of this. Why is my lighting in my laptop so dark? So dull. It's very dull, y'all. My lighting. It's really dull on my laptop. Why I got all this stuff up? Okay, let's see. Why is all this crap up? What the heck? How do we close this out? How do I close this mess out? I got a whole bunch of stuff open up on this laptop and I don't even know. Oh my god, my laptop is connected to my okay, let me turn this off because I see my thing scrolling over here. See it scroll. Let me close this laptop because it's playing both of the same system. First trial was bananas. Okay, let me go check this. I'm not trying a new browser. No. Get out of here. Yeah, I got laptop. Live streaming fair use. Fair use. They still ain't saying anything yet, y'all. Come on now. I know, y'all. It's been a while since we've been together as a group. Don't forget tomorrow. I will be at Yak Gotti's hearing. And then next week we have Mender, his hearing. Page is not responding. We use delays again started. You're so used to delays getting started. Okay. Y'all can still hear me, right? Okay, we're gonna close it out and close all these pages out. Yeah, I told you guys I got Woody's book, right? And our members, we're gonna do a book club, and we're gonna go ahead on and read. You've been missing devotion. Oh, what happened? What's going on? Look, let me make the other one small for a second while we wait on. Look, this is Woody's new book that I got. That we're gonna do a book club in my members only, and we're gonna be reading the book. And we're gonna hear what it says. It's called Guns Down, Books Up. So that is his new book, and it's a very easy read. Very easy read. It's really we're gonna do a book club. I'm gonna read it behind the scenes. Anybody will be interested in joining the book club and reading this, and we're gonna do some other books in our little book club. This is it. I'm one of the first people to get this book, y'all. It says, written by two men embarking on a road to redemption for their violent past. Lil Woody and Dontel Newsom embark on the road to redemption by exploring the profound merit of promoting reading to deter violence and incite a peaceful revolution of mind. Did I get it? He signed it right there. See? He signed it. See? You're trying to be funny, huh, Tank? He signed the book. Your girl is the first one to get the book. and my copy is one of the original ones because it says not for sale. You see that? I got the original. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Clock that T. That's right. Clock that T. Who could say they got them? What content creator could tell you that they got the book? Which one? Which one that was covering the case? Which one could tell you that? Which one could tell you that? None of them. Okay? None of them. And I've had this book, for about a few days now. Since Sunday. Did they do a movie midnight? Did they do a movie on this thing here? On this case? Did they do a movie? Okay, let me go over here and. Oh, he's the same age as Dallas. He was born in 1999. Born in Florida. Released a breakout album on 2018. Oh, so aren't they? This is the attorney that they doing the background thing, right? Hmm. Oh, you had a bad snowstorm. Are you okay? Oh, you call her Big Angie? Okay. Yeah, you teaching me some stuff, Midnight. Midnight, I need you because I need to know some stuff that's going on with this case. I'm late to the party, but I'm here. I'm here, y'all. Late to the party, but I'm here. Late to the party, but I am here. Y'all, make sure everybody know that we're live. Infamous Sylvia's live with this. This is not my cup of tea of doing it on. I'm one of those people that like to be in the courthouse. But you know who I follow? What's his name? Pearson. Pearson is a young man that I follow. And I'm gonna go into X and see what he's saying. Let's see what he's saying on this. Wow. Melly is in the house. Mods, could you tell folks I'm in here, please? Good morning, Tiffany Holiday. Good morning. The state is dirty like the DAYSLDA. Really? He needs to get a new lawyer. Y'all share it with the folks and let them know I'm over here. Tiffany, I am so glad. I didn't even know about it yesterday, Tiffany. Not Tall Glass. CMT told me this morning I should go ahead on and play it here. So I was like, oh, okay. I was busy doing my little prayer board. You shared it. Thank you, Pam. Y'all make sure everybody know we're here. We got 145 folks up in here. Shout out to the folks. I've been following since the first one. Oh, you have? Okay. Hey, Latasha. Thank you, CMT, for sharing it. Because folks don't know that I was doing it. Because, I don't normally do this case. So, thank you, guys. But you know what? Let me add X in here, too. Hold on. Let me add my X in here. Yeah, add X so folks will come up in here. This worse than YSL for real? He looks like a baby, y'all. Look at him. He is smiling. Look at him. Oh, look at him. He's smiling, y'all. Oh, that's his family. That's his family, y'all. Oh, look at them smiling. That's beautiful. Boy, he's a baby. He's the same age as Dallas. They both was born in 99. Can you imagine what the mom is feeling like? Oh, that's his mother and family. Okay. The mom is a trip. Okay. Y'all teaching me a lot on this one. That's his attorney, right? That's the one they checking her iPhone record, right? Is that the one that they checking her iPhone record? Okay. Well, guys, I'm gonna catch up on this case. I'm gonna go learn about it because I don't know much about it. Can y'all really read his lips? Why they got handcuffs on him? Oh, he's not on trial yet, so that's why they have handcuffs. Okay. iCloud record. Okay. Thank you, Linda. Lillian, I'm sorry. Thank you, Lillian. Well, yeah, I'm going to shut up when they start, okay? I'm just asking questions now because I don't know much about this case. So once it gets started, once I hear a volume of some sort, I will shut up and dang, he looked like a little boy. He looked like a teenager. Here we go. We're getting started, y'all. Here come the judge. No, Latasha, I got the privilege. I got CMT. I don't need Google. I got CMT.
Are you ready for me to go on the record? Yes. Okay. Yes, sir. Yeah, as soon as I get Mr. Court. State, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We're waiting for the court reporter. We didn't start yet. Ms. Collins, Raul Ventura, that's your case.
Yes, Judge.
That's February
Second trial, February
19th.
Yes.
Just so happens. Okay. Mike, take your time. Tell me when you're ready. Good? Okay, let me go back on the record. This is State versus Jamel Demons, 19-1872 CF10A. I've got Ms. Bucklew, Ms. Collins, Mr. Griffiths present for the state. I've got Ms. Liberty, Mr. Adelstein, Mr. Aronson, Mr. Benjamin, present from Mr. Demons, who likewise is present. We're not waiting for Mr. Patanza.
We are not waiting for his presence.
Okay. Okay, so this is just a continuation of yesterday. I did get, and I read, as well as the authority cited therein, the state's motion for rehearing and reconsideration of the defendant's or tenant's motion to compel disclosure of the Apple search warrant related to Attorney Raven Liberty. I don't know that I actually conducted a formal hearing. I just asked the state to turn over a copy of the search warrant and affidavit. Ms. Collins, let me ask you this. I read your authority. Would you agree that they're entitled to a copy of just the search warrant, not the affidavit, just the search warrant?
At some point, but not at this point necessarily.
Well, can you explain that to me? Because if I sign a search warrant for someone's home, and BSO goes to their home and executes the search warrant, and they're there, they give them a copy of the search warrant.
Correct. But in
Upon
this
its
case, it's
execution.
Apple that the warrant is being executed upon, not the party themselves.
And you think their authority says that she's not even entitled to a copy of the search warrant?
Yeah, that's correct, Judge. Yes.
That's your position?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Okay, well, over the state's objection, I'm ordering you to turn over a copy of the search.
Uh-oh.
I'll put that in a written form today, so you
The
can.
judge is not playing, y'all.
I certainly think she's entitled to a copy of the.
He
search
said, I
warrant.
order you.
Probably that's it at this point. So, defense, I'm happy to hear anything you want to tell me, but based on our discussion yesterday, I think where we're at is, I need to give you a date very soon in the future. It's a date in February, which is what we're looking at. And at that point in time, you're gonna have to come back in here and tell me, and I'm gonna have to have a discussion with Mr. Demons. I'm gonna start that discussion this morning, so he understands he's the captain of the ship. This is his decision, but he's gonna have to tell me if he wants Ms. Liberty to continue to be his lawyer or not. He's gonna have to tell me if he wants all of you to continue to be his lawyers or not, or he's gonna have to tell me that he's gonna seek other counsel, but I think that needs to happen sooner rather than later.
We concur with that issue. I'm confused, and I apologize to the court. Is the court entertaining this motion for reconsideration and not?
There was no motion or ruling. I think she's entitled to I think, listen, Mr. Demons is entitled to heightened due process. The state
Yes.
is seeking the death penalty. It is very clear that one of his lawyers is under investigation right now.
Okay.
He is entitled to have as much information as I have the ability to give him before he has to make a decision. Is there a conflict of interest? Does he want to waive that conflict of interest and continue with that lawyer as part of his representation? Or does he not? Does he want the lawyer to withdraw? And again, the Florida Supreme Court has been very clear on this. He's the captain of the ship. So he
Absolutely.
makes this
Judge.
decision.
Go on,
So,
Judge.
If there was, again, I'll repeat what I said, I think to Mr. Aronson yesterday. If you all had some other authority that says I have some additional power to assist in the fact finding here, I would hear what the state has to say about it, but I would probably be inclined to do that. But my inherent authority or citing the U.S. Constitution, although I very strongly believe in the U.S. Constitution, this is I'm not involved in this. The underlying facts that are going to make a determination is whether there's a conflict and what Mr. Demons wants to do. This is completely 100% a decision between himself and his lawyers. I don't have anything to do
We're
with it.
not disputing that.
So I don't know what else I can do at this point. You've asked me to press pause on all these motions. I'll press pause. I'm not going to move this trial date. This trial is going forward in September. So if these motions are heard next month, or they're heard in March, or they're heard in August, or they're heard contemporaneously during his trial, which again would not be the most ideal way to do things, but that's what ends up happening. That's what ends up happening. But the one thing I can tell you is not going to happen is someone that has been in custody for 2,160 days, his trial is not going to be delayed under any circumstance. So that being said, what else would you like me to do this morning?
Well, a couple things. Since the state filed a motion for rehearing, there are misstatements in their motion that need to be corrected. Since we received this early this morning, and saw it for the first time, we did not file any written plea response. And if I may, just go through the corrections that we saw. It's on number 1, it says the search warrant was issued in December of 2024. It was 23, not 24, a year earlier.
We agree with that, so, yeah.
In paragraph number 2, they said that the state disclosed an ongoing investigation to Miss Liberty. That is absolutely untrue. We learned of it through Apple. They confirmed it yesterday for the first time, over a year after the search warrant was executed. Paragraph number 5 indicates that this investigation is separate and apart from the defendant's current case. It conflicts with paragraph 11 that implies that this investigation is related to the tampering case of Mr. Demons. Is it unrelated or is it related? I think the court needs to know that, because if it's related, I believe, and we will file a written response under discovery, he's entitled to that information, anything that leads to relevant and important information. And I'm not asking the court to rule on it at this point, but I want the court to know that if it's related to his present charges under 3.220, we're entitled to that information. They make a statement that regardless of what Mr. Demons wants and is willing to waive the conflict, they believe that Ms. Raven must get off the case, regardless of that. That's their assertion. They have to prove it. And I want to put the court, the state on notice that they must prove. They can't merely allege that the conflict is so extent that even if this young man wants to waive it, they're going to come in here and say she must get off the case. That's what they say in this plea in paragraph number 11. That's a question for the court to determine, and they have to present evidence of that fact. We are still under the same impression that we don't have enough information. Pursuant to Your Honor's request, Mr. Aronson and I spoke to Mr. Demons. I call him Melly if the court will allow me.
I'd actually prefer that you use.
Mr. Demons?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Mr. Demons, we discussed the potential of
He
that.
respects the
And if
man's.
the court accepts my representation, or the court can inquire from him, he informed us that he doesn't have enough information to make that decision.
You're
And I
talking to
want
me
to-
about privileged communication.
Well,
I'm going to talk to Mr. Demons at the conclusion of the hearing this morning, everything that I'm allowed to talk to him about. I don't want to hear about anything that you all talk
I was just willing to profit his statement of that fact. And we would, of course, ask the court to deny their motion for rehearing and rule consistently with what you ruled yesterday, that they not only have to produce the search warrant, but the affidavit.
Well, do you want to respond to any of the case law they cited about ongoing investigations? That would relate to the affidavit.
Well, it relates, if it's related to his present charges under Rule 3.220, they must turn it over. So let them come in here and make a representation that it is either unrelated, totally different, or if it's in fact related, he has a right to see that information. And 3.220 is clear on that. Anything that could lead to relevant information must be disclosed. Judge, there is one other matter that we need to go sidebar on.
Okay, well, hold that, pause on that till then. State, is there anything else that you want to tell me today? The only thing I'm going to do is talk to Mr. Demons about the front end of this colloquy, if you will, and then give you a future date, which I'm looking at is February 18th, that's the day before my next trial starts, after the trial that's starting tomorrow. And on Tuesday, February the 18th, what I'm also going to ask each side to do is, if there's any motion pending that you think I can hear that is not interfered with by the pending matters that are up on appeal at the 4th DCA, state if you have anything that you want me to hear on February 18th, just file a notice of hearing and identify the motion you want me to hear. Defense, if there's anything else you want me to hear on February the 18th, just file a notice of hearing and identify what it is you want me to hear. I anticipate the murder trial that I'm commencing tomorrow will be done by then. It may not be, but I'm hoping that it is. And if it is, then I'll give you the whole day on February the 18th to address this issue regarding his representation. And if it turns out we can go forward and hear some of these pending matters, then I'll be happy to do that too.
Judge, I can just ask, I know you said file a notice of hearing, if we could have a deadline like by February 1st, so we don't end up in the same position we did this time where it was filed, 3 business days
Well,
before.
let's see, we're talking about February 18th. So how about the end of business on February the 7th? How about that?
That's fine, Judge.
All right, so that goes for both sides. If there's anything you want me to hear on February the 18th, just file a notice of hearing, identify exactly what it is that you want me to hear. And I'm gonna see him February the 18th at 9:30 a.m. Again, we'll call it all pending motions. Maybe we'll be able to work all day and maybe we'll be able to do nothing. I guess that's really gonna be up to you all. State, is there any other requests that you have this morning?
Yes, Judge, as to the search warrant itself that Your Honor is going to compel us to provide, I'd ask that we have until February 1st, just so we have time to pursue the appellate remedies in the meantime, and then I'd also ask that it provide to Your Honor in camera first, because it's the state's position that there are, even in the search warrant itself, certain things that make reference to other targets for the investigation, which are confidential, privilege, and would jeopardize the investigation. So we would ask that Your Honor review that in camera, if any necessary redactions have to be made, and then it can be provided to defense.
We would object to that procedure, and they had over a year to produce these documents, so it's no surprise. We would ask that to be given to us by the end of tomorrow.
Okay, so listen, over the defense objection, state, this is what I'll do. I'm ordering you to turn over a copy of the search warrant. I need you to get that to me. A week from today, that's January 14th. End of the day, January the 14th, that comes to me,
Yes, Judge.
and then I'll review it, and then I'll distribute it as I see fit. I can't imagine there's anything in there I'm gonna redact. I mean, it doesn't matter, the state's free to investigate whoever they want for anything they want. To do this in the midst of a capital case, state, I realize some things are gonna happen that you might not find ideal, but that is of your doing because you've chosen to do this in the middle of a capital case. So Mr. Demon's heightened due process rights will take precedent over every other matter in this case, obviously. So that's just the way it's gonna have to be. But I'll grant your request over the defense objection, at least as to that. Ms. Wilcox can give you a blank order. You can fill it out this morning. I know it's over the defendant's objection, but show them the order. And I'll be happy to sign it. The search warrant comes to me within 1 week.
Yes, Judge.
And then I will review it in camera and then I will distribute it accordingly as I see fit. State, anything else you want me to do this morning?
The judge.
Defense, besides your matter that you want to talk to me about, sidebar, anything
Yes,
else you want
since
me to
you're
do this
going
morning?
to, in camera, review the search warrant, we would ask that the state submit the affidavit.
Well, the case law seems pretty clear that you're not entitled to that, but if you have some competing authority, I'm happy to look at it.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, on another note, I was a little confused yesterday as to whether or not you have lifted the stay as far as discovery, and we can start discovery again on everything, or are we still under that stay order? Just asking for
I asked both sides if you wanted to do that. I thought you both told me that you did want to do that, that you wanted to do the things that you can do.
I want to do everything,
I agree with you.
but
Time is short, but,
the state is the one that asked for the stay.
well, state, what do you want me to do?
Judge, we need to speak with the Attorney General's office, because we have that stay for a reason with certain things, but we have plenty to do outside of that first, so.
Okay,
we have
well,
some-
why don't we do the things that we all agree we can do? So the answer to Mr. Anderson's question is yes, without objection from either side, the stay is lifted to the extent that we can litigate any matter that's not currently before.
Well,
the
no,
court
we
this
are
year.
objecting to that, Judge.
That was already done by Judge Murphy.
Right, that's how you
Judge
done.
Murphy already lifted the
He
stay.
modified it,
Right, you
so that we
modified
could
it.
do ongoing
Oh,
discovery
okay.
as to things that were not up on appeal.
Again, if one side notices something for February 18th and the other side thinks that that is included in the matters that cannot be handled because it's currently at the Fourth District Court of Appeals, I'm sure you will file a written response and let me know that. And I guess I'll have to make a decision whether I agree with you or whether I don't. Defense, besides the matter that you want to talk to me about, anything else?
Judge, the only thing I would like to have you possibly consider is that you had said you were prepared to ask Mr. Deming some questions right now. I'm a little concerned that with the lack of information that exists in this case, for him to even opine on where to go right now, based on what? The paragraph in their motion that says that he has to make a decision now because you told him there's a conflict.
I'm not going to ask him any questions. I'm just going to explain to him the choices that he's made. No different than a defendant deciding to testify or not testify at a trial. I'm not going to ask him any questions. I'm telling him what's coming. Because at some point, he is going to have to tell me what he wants.
And of course, we're gonna object at this point, and until the time that he's fully informed as to what there is that may be a conflict, he is in no position to answer, to make an opinion as to whether.
I'm not asking his opinion. You're objecting to me talking to your client about his rights?
It depends on what you say, Judge, but I am prefacing what your comments are because I was under the impression that you were gonna inquire with him as to whether or not that he finds there's a conflict.
No, I'm not.
Okay, great.
I'm not. Okay, again, so the record is crystal clear on this. I'm following this procedure pursuant to a case called Figueroa, Figueroa hyphen Sanabria, Sanabria versus State. It's a Florida Supreme Court case from 2023. It's found at 366 Southern 3rd, 1035. And this was a death penalty case as well. I'll quote what the Florida Supreme Court quotes. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. All competent defendants have the right to control their own destinies. He's entitled to his constitutional right of assistance of counsel, and there's nothing that makes him relinquish this right. So all I'm going to do this morning is explain to Mr. Demons that at some point this is going to be his choice. I'm sure his lawyers will give him the best advice, but this is going to be his decision. And he may not agree with your advice at some point, just like a defendant may decide to testify or not testify and not follow a lawyer's advice. But I take this decision to be the same way. It's a fundamental decision. This is a client decision. This isn't a lawyer decision. So, Mr. Demons, raise your right hand for me. You don't have to stand. You're okay. You can sit. You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Please state your full name.
Smell, Maurice, Jim,
How old are you?
25.
How far did you go in school?
I graduated, well, I got my own GED.
Do you read and understand the English language?
Yes.
Are you presently under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcohol?
No.
Have you ever been treated for a mental illness?
No.
Are they giving you any medication in the jail right now?
No.
How are you feeling this morning? I understand. I'm a little confused myself. Your head is clear? You're not hearing voices. You
No.
hear your lawyers. You're talking to your lawyers. You understand what's going on this morning?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Demons, here's the deal. You're, just like any other defendant, you're entitled to have conflict-free lawyer or lawyers representing you. Okay, a lawyer that has your best interest in mind to the exclusion of anything else. You with me so far?
Yes.
Okay. The state has told you that one of your lawyers is currently under investigation. For what? I have no idea. But there's some ongoing criminal investigation. Okay, you with me so far? Okay. So this, what your lawyers correctly pointed out yesterday, raises immediately what we call a conflict of interest. In other words, maybe at some point during this litigation or some point during the trial, my lawyer's not going to do what's the best thing for me. My lawyer's going to do what's the best thing for my lawyer. And your two interests are separate. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, once your lawyers have had the opportunity to investigate all this, to get you all the information they can possibly get, so they can talk to you about all this, at some point, you're going to have to make a decision about who you want your lawyers to be going forward. You with me on that?
Yes.
Okay. Even if there is a conflict, you can waive the conflict if you want and say, Judge, I understand there's a conflict, but that's okay. I like these lawyers. They're doing a great job for me. They did a great job for me in the past, and I don't want to change, lawyers this late in the game. You understand that?
Yeah.
Or you could likewise say the opposite and say, Judge, I don't feel comfortable with this. I think there's a conflict. I don't think Miss Liberty should be my lawyer anymore. I don't think any of my lawyers should be my lawyer anymore. And I want to go get some new lawyers. And if you want to hire your own lawyers, you can go out there and hire anyone you want. And if you want me to appoint lawyers to represent you, you would have to file an application with the clerk's office. And if they find that you're financially qualified, I could appoint lawyers to represent you. You understand that?
Yes.
The whole point I'm trying to make with you today, sir, is that this is going to be your decision. Your decision. Your lawyers will give you their best advice, and you have some excellent lawyers, okay, about what they think you should do. But at the end of the day, you can follow their advice, or you don't have to follow their advice. It's your decision. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you have any questions for me about anything that I've said so far?
We have a moment, Your Honor.
Sure. No questions? All right. So, Mr. Evans, I'm pressing pause on the conversation at this point. We're going to have the second half of this conversation at some point in the future. I hope it's sooner in the future rather than later, because the last point I want to make sure, and I'm giving you and your family and your lawyers as much notice of this as I can, your case is set for trial September the 10th, and that's not that far away. Do you understand that? Okay. Your case is going to go to trial on September the 10th. So if you change lawyers, you're going to get a group of lawyers in place that are going to have like 7 months to prepare a capital case, okay? So the longer it takes to make this decision.
I'm going to object to what the court has just said. What you're telling him is right now that he is basically having to stay with us as his attorneys, because if not, then he'll get another set of lawyers that will not be prepared, and they will only have 8 months to do what has taken years to do, and therefore you're pushing him into the corner that he has to stay with us. I don't think that's fair what the court has said.
Over your objection, sir. That's not what I'm saying at all. I want to make sure that you understand the time is of the essence. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to put him back on the docket February the 18th at 9:30 a.m. This issue with the warrant will be resolved at this point, and whatever's going to be distributed to the parties will have long since been distributed to the parties. You all can file whatever additional motions you think are appropriate. If there's any motion the state wants me to hear, we're going to do that in a notice of hearing. That's by the close of business on Friday, February the 7th. Defense, if there's any motion that you want me to hear, we're going to do that in a written notice of hearing by Friday, February the 7th. If I don't have something noticed in writing by Friday, February the 7th at the close of business, I will not be hearing it on Tuesday, February the 18th. Mr. Demon's case remains set for trial September the 10th at 9 o'clock. State, anything else that I can do for you this morning?
No, Judge.
Defense, with the exception of your,
Yes.
all right, is the state coming up here too?
Yes.
Okay. Mike, this is not on the record. Dan, I think there's a microphone here. That needs to go.
It's a bench conference going on right now. So as you guys know, with bench conferences, we can't hear it. They mute that part, so we won't be able to hear what's going on. Looks like the deputy's talking to the camera guy. You know, I'm so used to that. I know about that. Looks like it's going to be over in a minute. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button, share this live. Hey, guys on X. I see the X people in here. Man, that dude, he looks like a baby, like a teenager. What's the courtroom we're going to jump on to next? I don't know. We're going to travel into the internet and find another case. You in Detroit court? Okay, we'll go to Detroit court. Tall Glass, text me the link so we can go travel over there as a group. Field trip. Tall Glass, just text me the court case and I'll have it ready. Queued up and ready to go so we can go on our field trip. We're going to Detroit. As a field trip, we go to Detroit bundled up. Put your coats and boots on, everybody. Who's getting shotgun? Who's going to sit in the front with me? Miss Betty said he got a slight crush on her. You're so funny. You are so funny. We're gonna have to add a title to this. You know, my live is gonna change the title. It's gonna have an other case. It's gonna go / other case. Are we gonna do Karen Reed? What are they doing with Karen?
Okay, so I'm going to see Mr. Bivens on February the 18th. If you need to get in front of me sooner, just contact my office. Although I am starting another first-degree murder trial tomorrow, but that trial may end earlier than I suspect. I'll just play that one by ear. Ms. Wilcox, FT, that concludes FTs for today. That concludes FX until 3:30? Yeah. Okay. So then the division FX will otherwise be in recess until 3:30 this afternoon. Hope y'all have a nice one. All right, Mr. Court reporter.
3:30 from here on?
I think we're gonna go to I think we're gonna go ahead on and go to Michigan. I think we're gonna go to Michigan with Jarvis Butts, right? That's Jarvis Butts' case, right? Yeah, we're gonna do that one. Yeah, we're gonna go over there. Let's go over to Detroit. As soon as this one's finished, we're gonna go over to Detroit. Okay, I got Jarvis Butts ready. As soon as they dismiss out of here, we're gonna go over to Detroit. All right, I'll see you guys later on this one. All right, we're gonna go to Jarvis Butts. Okay, here we go. Another field trip. We're going to Detroit. We was in Florida, now we're going to Detroit, y'all.
His phone and your access to it, I guess, or lack thereof.
Yes.
And Ms. Quick also asked you about Mr. Butts staying over the night or staying the night at your house. You said that he would leave around 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Do you know where he would go when he would leave?
Mm-hmm.
Did he ever tell you where he was going?
Home.
Did you know where he himself called home?
Yes.
Where was that at?
Wilshire.
And you said you would walk from his place of employment if he was coming straight from there, right?
Yes.
How far from that, on Connors, the auto shop on Connors, do you live? How far of a walk?
No, that was when he was on Warren.
Warren and Neff?
Yes,
How far of a walk from that location?
like 4 blocks.
And did you ever, see him drive but not park in your driveway or in front of your house? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
He parked around the corner and he would walk to my house.
And do you
When he
know,
was in the white Cadillac truck.
you said Cadillac?
Yes.
Was that an Escalade? If you know.
I don't know.
And do you know the reason why he would park around the corner?
I don't know. I asked and he was just like, I didn't drive.
But then would you see his truck?
I was in the truck.
Maybe one more. One last question. You said you lived or called home in Wilshire?
Yes,
Have you ever been to that house?
yes.
Have you ever been inside that house?
No.
No, you've never been.
Watch just that, another response.
Give me one moment.
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, we'll call Border Patrol Agent Wyatt Barnes. I'm going to request permission to share my screen again. Okay.
I'm watching it from a different angle. I know some of you guys are seeing. Y'all want to watch it from the other angle that everybody else is watching it? Because I'm watching it from the Zoom from the courtroom. They're watching it from the, which way do y'all want to watch it? I like seeing everybody. I'm nosy like that, okay? I'm nosy like that. I like to watch it from the Zoom angle. You see him sitting back there. Yeah, I like this way.
Okay, thank you.
The guy's about to sit down. I like this angle. Don't y'all like this angle?
Good morning, would you please state your name for the record?
Nick Blackbarns.
And how are you employed?
I work for the United States Border Patrol.
And how long have you been employed by the U.S. Border Patrol?
14 years and change.
And were you working back on March 12th, 2024?
Yes.
And in what capacity were you working?
No,
I
that's
was working
the
in a
that's the
search and
people.
rescue
That's the gallery.
capacity. That's the primary job, my primary job.
Okay. And were you working alone or with a partner or a group of people?
With the team. There was sizable team that day.
And what is it that you guys were doing?
We were responding to a missing person in that area.
And which area are we talking about? Where were you at?
7 Mile and Bird.
And what was your role in searching the 7 Mile and Berg area?
I was searching the riverbank of the River Rouge. We were searching south along the bank. I was on the east side of the bank in the 7 Mile Berg area.
And
when you were searching this area, was there anything in particular that you were told to look for?
Just nothing solid, but there were just some child-sized clothing things, just anything that could have been washed up on the riverbank. There was a storm recently, so we were in the water and on the riverbanks.
Okay, so you're kind of looking for maybe some child-sized clothing.
Yes.
Okay, and did you come across any clothing that you thought maybe would fit the description?
Yes.
Okay, and where was that at?
That was south of 7 Mile and Bird, near a abandoned structure next to a dirt parking lot. About, I can't give the exact distance, maybe 15 feet up.
And when you find articles of clothing, what is it that you do here?
So there's a lot of stuff that might be washed up. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna age it and make sure that it is something that could possibly be related. And then I'm gonna just immediately report a picture to the incident command so that they can send people to properly inspect it.
Okay, and when you say age, what do you mean by aging?
Just to make sure that it hasn't obviously been in the brush for years, or it's not some garbage that washed up.
And in this search in particular, what was kind of the time frame that you were supposed to be like using to age?
Recent, not like within a month or two.
Okay.
So it would still look. Yeah.
And so when you find items, you said that you age them and then you kind of report them to incident command.
Yes.
Okay, and how is it you report them? Do you go like a walkie-talkie? Do you call them on the phone?
Via radio.
Okay.
Yeah, via radio, and then there's usually some type of a chat, but I wasn't communicating directly on the chat. I just kind of forwarded the photos to a supervisor who then gave the photos to this, and then they would give you those out to the detectives.
And what is it that you found in this case?
I found I don't know if this is the right term for it, but a onesie. It was mostly balled up in the brush with the shoe inside of it. And so I pulled I didn't know it was clothing at the time, but I pulled it out of the brush, just to kind of open it up and see what it was. And then once I saw that it was clothing with the shoe inside, I just reported it to this one.
Okay, and when you're touching these items, are you wearing gloves?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall, describe the onesie, color, size, anything like that?
Pink. Honestly, the size, I don't, small.
And what about the shoes?
Shoe,
Shoes.
it was a small Nike shoe.
Okay.
And it was inside the onesie, which was inside out.
And were you instructed to recover those at the time?
Like bag them and bring them somewhere?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, that wasn't.
Were you? How do you, I guess, convey to someone where at these items are?
GPS coordinates.
Okay. And did you author like a paragraph report in this case?
Yes.
Okay. And did you include coordinates in that report?
Yes, and they were incorrect in my report. I just went over it yesterday. I do have the correct coordinates if you guys want those.
Okay. Yes. Could you please provide the correct coordinates? Is there something that you're going to use to refresh your memory?
I have a piece of paper here. So the coordinates that were provided in the paper were from the incident command. These coordinates are very close to where that piece of equipment was found. Their decimal degrees, 42.426693, negative 83.268497.
So the coordinates that are in your report are where instant command was kind of set up.
That's the instant command, yes.
I'm gonna show you what's already admitted as people's exhibit 14. I'm gonna show you some specific pictures from that. Looking at picture 63 here. Tell me, do you recognize anything in this photo?
Yes.
What is it that you recognize?
The pink article of clothing.
Okay, and when you initially saw these items, is that how you saw them?
No, they were just balled up in the brush, just kind of stuffed in there.
Okay.
So
Sorry, continue.
I pulled them out, so that way it's protected.
Okay, so. Photo 69. Is this the shoe that you had found that was inside the leg of the pink jumpsuit? Or what
Yes.
shoe? 57. Is this
Yes.
a photo of them just from the behind?
Yes.
Okay, and you were the one who kind of took them apart and placed them separately like that?
I did,
Okay.
yes.
And did you do anything else as it relates to this case?
No.
Nothing further. Sorry, 1 minute. The coordinates that you gave, were those latitude, longitude?
Yes. Yeah.
Nothing further. Okay.
Well, like decimal degrees. So.
Thank you.
Agent Barnes, you said that you were taking part in a search of the area of 7 Mile Bird. Was that, how large of an area was it?
I probably searched at that point, not quite half a mile. So, not a
And
huge area.
you said you were part of a team?
Yes.
About how many people were out there?
There was multiple counties out there assisting in search. I would say the exact number, probably 7 dozen.
7 dozen?
7 dozen.
Several.
There was different teams assigned to different parts of the river.
So different people were assigned to, or different teams were assigned to one like half-mile location, another half-mile location, or coordinates, I guess?
Yes, even smaller than that, smaller section, yeah, just to keep that fresh.
And was it like a coordinated effort then to kind of sweep this area?
Yes,
So you're just walking like in a straight line, or
for the most part.
can you describe kind of how that looks?
Yeah, so in the river, I'll go from the river to the banks. So in the river, you have different teams wearing dry suits, using technology for anything that resembles a body, and then stakes to kind of push the log jams. Then you have guys on the edge of the river, because the water level is high, so the one from the river banks as well, which the water level was high and had become lower. Then you have teams on the banks and then teams kind of doing an S pattern along the river edge to make sure they cover as much ground as possible.
And so you said that on this particular day, the water level was high?
No, the water level was high the week prior or so we wanted to make sure that we covered the river banks where the water was. The water was back to its normal level.
Was there a way to tell where the water level had been previously? Is there a way to mark that?
Sometimes it's just where debris gets caught up.
Okay.
It was maybe a little higher.
And it was you personally that saw the pink onesie, or the pink thing that you initially saw?
Yes.
Did you take pictures of it, how it looked when you initially found it?
I didn't, no.
Would you normally do something like that?
There's just so much stuff. I wasn't taking all day if I take a picture of everything I found. So
You stopped and kind of moved it, manipulated it.
yes, I pulled it up to inspect it. noted that it was worthy of reporting, set it back down.
Okay, and how far did you set it down from the location where you initially located
Same
it?
spot,
Exact same spot?
same brush.
Okay. And you said that part of what you do is kind of to note approximately how long it looks like it's been out there.
Yeah.
And in this particular case, what was it that you found or thought when you noticed it?
There was no discoloration from the sun. You know, typically if something sits outside for a while, the sun's gonna change the color that it sees, and then underneath it's gonna be a different color. There was no discoloration in the article, I think. So, and that can happen in weeks. It's pretty quick. Depending on how much sun. There was no evidence of animals getting in it. There was no significant dirt. It's just, it looked very fresh.
Did you find or see any other clothing other than the shoe in that area?
Very old clothing, years old.
Like what, for example?
Maybe just old coats, but there's nothing pertinent. Things that were under layers of lots. Yeah, I mean, this is very much debris.
In that general area, in that half-mile area that you were scanning?
Yes.
Okay. Nice. No, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Given, that you photographed these and alerted these, did these, the pink onesie and the shoe, those match your aging description that you were following?
There was no age necessarily. That's what you mean. Like they hadn't been out there for a long period of time.
Okay.
Thank you.
At this time, Judge, people call Sergeant Melanie or Work.
I'll do the next. Yes. Please make sure you watch your step. And also, you can pull that microphone off the ledge if it's easier for you, or just video to you.
May I proceed, Judge?
Yes.
Did you state your name for the record?
Sergeant Melody O'Rourke,
What do you do for a living, Sergeant?
Sergeant with the police department,
Which police department?
Detroit Police Department,
How long have you been with the Detroit Police Department?
approximately 11 years.
And are you currently assigned to a specific precinct or unit within the Detroit Police Department?
Yes, I work at major crimes,
Okay, and what sort of crimes do you investigate at major crimes?
generally homicides.
And how long have you had that role, or have you been in major crimes?
Keisha asked.
And do you do
I've
any specific
been quiet
role within
here.
major crimes?
I've
that
been
requires
so
full
quiet here
training
now
and
that YSL is over.
And what is it?
I do forensic analysis
So
of
popular.
cellular call detail
Well,
records and
Keisha,
telemetry.
I have been doing Bible, God stuff, and not everybody wants to hear that. Not everybody wants to hear that. That's why my channel's not popping. But I'm not doing this for popping. I'm doing this for salvation.
What sort of training, very generally right now, what is that?
What types of training?
No, sorry, new question. Generally, what is called forensic analysis of CDR and tower mapping?
I don't understand.
Okay. Have you had any training to do that?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I've had T-Mobile training. T-Mobile is the prevalent company here in the Metro Detroit area. I've had Excel training. Excel is the format that most of our call detail records come back to us in. I've had cell phone use and drug trafficking trainings, Penlink training. Penlink is the program that the Detroit Police Department utilizes. It basically puts the records in a readable format. I've had CATS training, which is an acronym for Call Analysis Training School. I've had Penlink training. PLX training, which is an upgraded form of Penlink. Approximately around 450 hours of specialized training in cellular analysis.
Okay, and that 450 hours in that training, does that allow you to utilize that to generate what you said earlier, tower maps based on your analysis of call detail records?
Yes.
Okay, and what are call detail records?
Historical records.
And does that allow you to place certain things based on cell towers on maps to give an approximate location of a particular phone number that's associated with the phone?
Yes.
And have you testified as an expert before in this field?
Yes.
And how many times have you done it?
Over 35 times.
And has that been in Wayne County?
Yes.
And have you testified in 36 districts?
36 in Fairfield, yes.
Judge, at this time, I would move to qualify Sergeant O'Rourke as an expert in the field of forensic analysis of all detail records and tower maps. No objection.
That young lady don't
Now,
realize she
can
on
you
camera.
describe the record
And all that kind of stuff.
when you get all detail records, the process that you would go through to generate maps?
Yes. The OIC or the officer in charge would supply a search warrant for a particular target number. We would submit that to the respective cellular company, whether it's T-Mobile, AT&T, or Verizon. They will submit back to us in the form of raw records, usually in a Excel format, the call detail records, and other various ones, subscribers.
And in terms of the call detail records, what is contained in that spreadsheet? What sort of information is contained within that spreadsheet?
It'll be dates, times, locations, the target number in question, any contact ID, who they're, having any type of activity with, whether it's a text message, a voice call, the duration. There's multiple things associated.
And you talked about location. How are those locations generated and inputted into that spreadsheet?
So these records will supply an actual latitude, longitude, or a location area code or other location information for the cell tower that the, we're just gonna say cell phone in this case, cell phone interacts with.
Okay. And can you describe well, first, silly question, I know, but what is a cell tower? What do you mean by that?
It's the cell towers that you see all over the place. They can be, one of those huge mammoth things that you see. They've got a bunch of cells on there and antennas that you see, or it could be, really small, and they're all over the place.
Okay. And the records provide a indication of which tower it was, that phone number was interacting with at a specific time?
Yes.
And does that allow you to take that information and put it into a map or go through a process to generate that location on a map?
Yes, we actually receive the information and put it into a system called Penlink, and that information will, like I said before, will basically put it in a readable format. So the information that you receive today, that's what you look at.
Now let's talk about this case. Did you do that, follow your process based on your training for a target number of 313-585-8719?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, and that was a T-Mobile record, correct?
It was.
Okay. And did you generate maps based on your training experience using Penlink to map, that phone number, and that phone at specific times related to this case. May I approach that?
Yes.
I'm approaching with People's Proposed Exhibits 33 through 39. If you could take a look at those, Sergeant, do you recognize what I just handed you? And are those maps that you generated for that target number ending in 8719?
Yes.
At this time, I would move to admit People's Proposed 33 through 39.
Any objection? No.
No objection.
Okay, no, People's Exhibits 33 through 39.
Thank you, Judge. And permission to publish.
Yes.
Hey guys, I just saw something. Do you guys want to
And on the screen and in your hand is Exhibit 33. First, I
do you
want to
guys
talk
want
about what's
to
at
get
the
parole
very
hearing?
top of this and what information.
Parole hearing? Do y'all want to see one of those?
The first row is going to have what's going to be on our calls report, a version.
A
There's gonna be a
revocation.
lot more in the actual calls report, but this is the information that.
Oh,
yay!
Okay,
Map.
yeah.
So for row one.
We're gonna pause on this and we're gonna go
The
to
target
another
device,
field
which is the
trip.
phone number.
We're gonna go on
The
a
date,
field trip to a
time
parole hearing so
that,
we can hear that
was
and
requested.
it goes.
So in this case, it's gonna be January 9th, that's 2024. And this time, which is in UTC time or military time, it's gonna be 1609 or 409 PM. And then the duration, how long the activity lasted. You have a start lag and said that's actually your location information. And then the call type, in this case, it was a voice call. Call status, whether it was completed or not completed. The direction, incoming or outgoing. Did he make the phone call or did somebody call him? And then you have the contact ID, which is who the device was contacting or interacting.
Okay, and that would have been the phone number that in this case, that outgoing call was placed to?
Yes.
All right, so let's back up to the date, January 9th, 2024 that's what it says on Exhibit 30, correct?
Yes.
Okay. How do you know to do that date in particular for this case?
So for all of these maps, this was requested by the officer in charge.
That information is supplied to you?
Yes.
Okay, do you know the details of other parts of this investigation, or are you just taking the information the OIC gives you?
I know the general information, but this is, they asked for a specific date and time, and this is what we based on.
Okay, and then moving over to the next row for time, it says 1609 and 24 seconds, correct?
Hasn't started yet. It's gonna start in a few minutes.
So that's my next question. You said that that's in UTC time. Can you describe or tell us what UTC time is?
No, this time that you have here is in our time, Eastern Standard Time. UTC time is Universal Time
All
Coordinated.
right, here they come. They're
and
about to
that's
start,
gonna
y'all.
have-
Hold on, I'm gonna stop this.
That's like on the world clock. So
I'm gonna stop this one right here. All right, here we go. We're going to Louisiana to a parole hearing here. All right, here we go. The judge is on the bench. Y'all ready? Here we go. This is January 7th, 2025.
Can you hear me?
Here we go. Can we hear them?
Yes, we hear you. If you, so we can see. Okay, thank you.
Louisiana Parole Board.
We are the Louisiana Committee on Parole, and we're impaneled in Baton Rouge at headquarters. Today on the panel, virtually is Mr. Prater. To my left is Ms. Stapleton and Ms. Ledoux. Could the individuals there at St. Tammany identify yourself, please?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Deputy Mike Molinari.
Okay, thank you.
Name is Roy Burton, ma'am.
And your DSC number?
453532.
And Mr. Burton, you're before this panel today with allegations of violation of your parole. I'm going to read, well, first of all, do you have a piece of paper in front of you that indicates that you've signed a revocation questionnaire?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The answers to that indicate that you are not eligible for appointed counsel. Did you retain an attorney?
No, ma'am.
Uh-oh. Okay.
You don't have any.
We'll go ahead and proceed. I'm going to read the allegations against you and ask you to enter a plea of guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a statement. Violation 4A says that you were engaged in criminal activity as evidenced by your arrest by the Louisiana State Police on 8/29/2024, where you were charged with DWI first. You had a blood alcohol content at the time of 0.203, and you were billed with misdemeanor DWI due to the fact that it had been 10 years since you had your last conviction. However, you're currently serving your sentence for DWI third, and at the time that you were arrested, you did plead guilty to DWI first. How do you plead now?
Well, ma'am, I do plead guilty to the DUI first. I talked to Mr. Tom over in Don over in time computations, because in 2017 I petitioned the St. Tammany courts to take that third offense DUI and run it concurrent with the 30 years I was doing for manslaughter. So that conviction should have been over. And when I talked to them, they said they took it out of Cajun. I talked to Jonathan Vining, and he said everything was taken care of.
That's immaterial in terms of, did you plead guilty to DWI first on 10/7/2024? Okay. The second part of that is you were issued a citation for hit and run.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and how did you plead to that?
Guilty, ma'am.
Okay. Number 10, you're currently $141 in arrears of supervision.
Yes, ma'am. And on the supervision, yes, I am behind. On the day that I was arrested, I'm on Social Security. On that day, I get my check, and that's when I pay my probation fees. When they first changed the way you pay, I pay online. And when they moved it to Texas, I couldn't get online for a month because the system was so, it wasn't properly set up and they were still working the bugs out. I'll pay that today.
That's not the biggest issue that's before us today. We have today with us Ms. Ashley Williams, who is a probation and parole officer. I think that it would be an appropriate time for Ms. Williams to go ahead and address her concerns with the board.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to attend today. Yes, ma'am, I am seeking revocation for Mr. Roy. In addition to the hit and run and the DWI that we've already discussed, my concern primarily was the BAC. I have discussed it with our DA's office here, and they have verbally admitted to me that he should not have been eligible to even be billed as a DWI first, because that 10-year time period he was incarcerated. And LARS allows that they are not eligible for the DWI charges to restart if the reason they didn't incur a new charge during that time frame was due to incarceration. So that is obviously primarily my concern is public safety. You know, I do feel like he did get a lucky draw with that. And I think he was aware of that, which is why he pled to it at the arraignment. However, I did not feel it appropriate in the idea of public safety to allow it to just be seen as a technical based on the fact that it was only a misdemeanor. I do want to bring to the board's attention as well. We did have a situation with Mr. Roy. He was erroneously released from St. Tammany Parish Jail at the beginning of December, back on December 5th. We were not made aware of it until January 3rd. So he was re-detained yesterday and placed back in jail, which is why he's there for the hearing today. But one of the arguments Mr. Roy had previously made to me was that he would need treatment and that's all he needed. However, he didn't check in with probation and parole when he was released from jail, and to my understanding, did not do anything to seek any kind of treatment when he was out, as he wasn't supposed to be. So I just have concerns going forward that I'm going to see any change in behavior from him, and I feel allowing him to continue on supervision would only put the public at risk for further injury or harm.
Thank you very much for your attendance today, as well as your testimony. I'm going to ask at this time if Ms. Stapleton has any questions.
Yes, well, I really don't have a question. I've got a statement, and I agree with the officer, the agent that was just on here, that the first thing you do when you do get out is you have a BAC level of 0.203. And right there it says, I will refrain from illegal use of drugs or alcohol. So you were involved in illegal activity like that, and you are a public safety risk because you certainly don't have it under control. You're drinking while driving. So I have the same concerns that she does.
Mr. Prater, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
And I don't have any questions either. I think that that's one of the biggest safety risks we have in public. We're prepared to vote, Ms. Stapleton.
I vote to revoke based upon your illegal activity with drinking, DWI, number 4, the hit and run, and your arrears of $141. So number 4 and number 10.
Mr. Prater?
Yes, vote to revoke because of violation of Rule 4. It's criminal behavior, DWI, drinking, hit and run.
And my vote is also to revoke based on your pleading guilty to criminal behavior. Again, I want to reiterate, Ms. Williams, we appreciate your attendance today. That concludes our business. It's 10:09, and we're going to conclude. Thank you very much.
They didn't waste no time, y'all. They didn't waste no time. That is not funny, but they didn't waste no time on that man. Okay, they got another one. That was Roy. That was it they had. Y'all want to see what Brian Woods did earlier? We're going to rewind to Brian Wood. Let me rewind it a little bit. That was just a live one because they had Brian Woods earlier. That was, hold on a second. Let's just rewind it for a minute. Hold on. They were not playing with him. Brian Woods was a little longer. Okay, hold on. Okay, let's all right, hold on. We could do Brian Woods. We're gonna do Brian Woods. Here we go. They're waiting for him. This was earlier. We missed this part. Look at it. Look, somebody's taking a picture of him. Look, it's a family member taking a picture. You see that? Taking a picture. They take a picture of him. And that judge got a green screen in the back of him. I'm not a judge, but you know, the person that's doing this thing.
Good morning.
Go ahead.
The Louisiana Committee on Parole is impaneled today, January 7th, 2025. The time is now 8:51. We're in headquarters in Baton Rouge. On the panel today, on my left is Ms. Stapleton. Virtually, we have sir, would you please state your name and your DOC number for the record?
Domingo Montreal Gale, 743-528.
Okay. Mr. Gale, you're before this panel today because of parole violation allegations. And what we're going to do is we're going to ask you some questions. And Before we even start, I want to make sure you have a parole violation revocation paper in front of you that you have your signature on.
Yes, ma'am, I have it.
Okay, so you were not eligible for appointed counsel, but you have retained Mr. Marcus Allen as the attorney. That's correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Mr. Allen, at the appropriate time, we'll call on you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. We also have in attendance India LeBlanc, your girlfriend, and Nicole Gale, your mother. I'm going to read out the allegations against you, and I would like for you to enter a plea of guilty,
girlfriend taking the
not guilty, or guilty with a statement. And you don't need to provide your statement until after, okay? You are accused of violation number 2, in which you failed to report for the following months: November and December 2023, January through September of 2024. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
I have 2 parts on number 4. The first one, on or about 10/16/2023, you engaged in criminal conduct by committing the offense of home invasion. How do you plead on that one?
Home invasion?
Not guilty.
On the second part of that, well, I will note that on 9/25/2024, the charge was refused. On 9/11/2024, you engaged in criminal conduct by committing the offense of domestic abuse battery.
Battery?
How do you plead on that?
Not guilty.
Noting for the record that charge was also refused 10/16/2024. You have failed to maintain monetary obligation and currently are arrears of $882 in supervision fees.
Get 'em, yo.
That's violation number 10. How do you plead on that?
I'm not guilty.
Okay.
Did you pay the money, sir?
At this time, we are going to allow Mr. Allen, how would you like to handle? Would you like to speak, or would you allow Ms. LeBlanc and Ms. Gale to go first?
Your Honor, I would like to, one, I think that a couple of those answers that he gave, he may have meant to do not guilty with a statement.
Okay.
Because some of the, fees are objective. It's either paid or not paid. Yeah. And I think appearance is another objective, but there are some rational reasons that needs to be stated. With that being said, I just wanted to enter those on Domingo's behalf so that it can be spoken to. I will go ahead and submit to his mother and the alleged victim, Miss India, to go.
Okay, which ones should be with statement? 2, 4A, 4B, or 10?
The one that he did not appear before his probation officer, not guilty with a statement. There were some circumstances that caused that.
Okay.
And that last one about the fees, unless those fees have been paid recently, that's an objective finding. I think there's a not guilty with a statement on that one as well.
Okay, then I will go ahead and allow Ms. Gale, the offender's mother, to speak.
Can we do Miss India, since the charges that were alleged, although they were refused, she was the alleged victim in those charges?
We'll let her speak next. Ms. Gale, go ahead. They'll both speak.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Hi. Yes, ma'am. I'm Domingo Gale's mother. And I'm just on his behalf that I just want to let everybody know my son is not a bad person. He has a good heart. He does wonderful for his kids. He just got, he just had a lot going on. He's been through so much in the past. He got hit by a car. He had a lot of ill going on with him, so that's why he didn't pay, some of the things. He couldn't work. He got hit by a car. He had 4 surgeries.
Oh, wow.
He had, well, 5.
Wow.
And, it allowed him to push him back a little bit, but it's not that he didn't want to pay. Later on, he started off as a greeter to Walmart until he worked his way up. But he was trying, he wanted to do right. He started school for air conditioning and refrigeration. Just doing well for himself, just doing good. He never got in trouble or anything. He was just trying to stay on the right path, and then this came about, which didn't happen, and I'm just a mother that, that if it happened, it happened, but it didn't happen. And, I just want my son to come home.
I understand. Thank you very much for being here and making those statements. It's always, mamas always stand behind their children.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, at this time, we'll allow Miss India LeBlanc to make a statement.
Here come India, y'all.
Okay, hello, how are you?
Good. Sit down.
My name is India LeBlanc, and I am Domingo Gale's mother of his children, and also at the time, like I said, we were around each other, but we haven't been around each other in a year. We do have a background of back and forth, little minor calls to the police and stuff. So, the day that this happened, we were actually coming inside from the hurricane. Domingo had went to work that day or whatnot. I had cooked food. The children were home. He was coming over to help me with the children, and we had just moved, so we still had things to do. And we walked outside because my oldest son still had football practice, and my youngest daughter still had cheerleading practice. And we was going to take them to practice. My friend was taking us, and amongst going outside, they had 2 sheriffs arrive, and the sheriffs just got out on us, and they started saying how basically, they had got a call from us, and I'm like, no, sir, you never got a call from us. And they like, well, is anything wrong with you? Is anything wrong with your body? And I'm like, nothing's wrong with me. I'm just taking my children to school. They was like, step away from the vehicle. And they made me back up, but I didn't know what was going on, but they asked for Domingo. So I thought they just knew him, or they didn't say his name, but they asked, where is he? They said, where is he? And then when they said, where is he? I'm like, who? And I'm thinking just, they talk about him. So I was like, he's in the house, but they started to walk towards my house or whatnot. But amongst being arrested and released, the address said 300 Fox Run. My address is 400 Fox Run. I do have my lease with me if anybody needs to be emailed my lease or anything. But we were both arrested, but I felt like I was also arrested because I said he didn't hit me. It's like I was being forced to say he hit me. But really, they run in his background, and the officer that arrested him said he was being arrested for a warrant for home invasion prior a year ago, which was also with me that I wrote an affidavit on a year ago because a cop made a statement saying Domingo broke in my house. Domingo never broke in my house. I had also that from my real estate agent. I have a police report that said I told them the kids were playing outside and a ball had came through the window or something, and we had to fix the window. So Domingo wasn't even present at that time or whatnot. And then so amongst that, they was taking him to jail, they claimed, because of that. But the officer that was arresting me was trying to make it seem like they were arresting me because I didn't want to write down that he hit me, but we were in a domestic. They had a call on a domestic, but we had never called the police. Mind you, we had just cooked, we were taking the children inside. I just had moved in this apartment, maybe not even 2 days. So I don't know. I just felt like we were kind of being stereotyped at the time. I mean, he works, he take care of his kids. We never been having issues at all. He stays out of trouble for the most part. He's a really good guy. I mean, and it's crazy that we're being always stereotyped or, contradicted based off of our arrest record or just prior things. And domestic is something big. Also, the officer was contacting me personally after I got released from jail, trying to meet with me, saying he liked me. I'm not sure. So I feel like that's conflict of interest. Did you arrest my kid's dad because of that? Like I had to block the number, and I also have messages of that as well.
Okay. Mr. Allen, if you would like to make a statement now, would be the appropriate time.
Yes, ma'am. First addressing India LeBlanc. As I said in our probable cause hearing, I think that Ms. LeBlanc gives the statement, and I think that based upon her statements then, as well as what she said today, you see why the charges have been dismissed. All inappropriate activity by the officer. She tells you as a victim that she wasn't a victim, that she felt that they were purely looking to arrest Mr. Domingo Gale.
Look at the
And so
look at the Steve.
With all this being before the district attorney's office, those charges were refused. Those charges were refused because you have a crime where a victim is saying there was no crime. So I think that the evidence and her words here today before this board, as well as any prior board, should speak for itself. As regards to the things, so let's deal with the objective finding that Mr. Gale didn't report. As you heard from his mother, Mr. Gale, soon after he got out, he hit the ground running. He got a job. He progressed in that job. He went to continue his education. And as he was continuing doing those things, he was also taking care of the obligations of trying to be a father raising those kids. Unfortunately, Mr. Gale got into a vehicle crash, not a soft tissue crash. He had 4 surgeries. So this placed him in a position where he was not able to make money. He was not able to meet those obligations that were necessary by the parole board at that time, or his parole officer at that time. I think that if we speak to his officer would tell him that, would tell this board that he had knowledge, because he did go to see Domingo. He did verify that Domingo had suffered some serious injuries that would require orthopedic therapy, and that Mr. Domingo was not working. I think that that ties into the other issue, is that because he was not working and because he was incapacitated in terms of his physical condition, he could not go and meet with his parole officer or probation officer. With that being said, when he was able to, I think that he was nervous and scared based upon what he spoke upon at the hearing. He was nervous and scared based upon the old theories of probation and plus what's out there in the streets, that once you go there, they're going to arrest you. And I think in his mindset, he did not want to be held. He did not want to be arrested. So with that particular circumstance, and his perception of it, and let me do say this, that the parole officer or probation officer at the probable cause hearing, she did state, hey, probation and parole is new now. We have a new mindset now. And I just told her that probably needs to get more marketed and put out there, because a lot of people are just afraid that they can go in there to try to make things right and end up being incarcerated. Mr. Gale is a first-time offender in anything that he has done. He doesn't have a history of crime and violence. Wow. Mr. Gale is a young man that got knocked off track, one due to his own, not his own situation. So he has a record that caused the police, when they came, to point him out and look for him. So I would ask that this board consider his history. I would ask that this board consider the alleged victim's comments. I would like this board to consider his mother's comments, and hopefully give Mr. Domingo an opportunity to continue on the path at an early age to get his life on the right track. This has been devastating for him. He's been in jail for quite some time.
No, she's not.
So I would ask that this board consider all the surrounding circumstances in rendering its decision. Thank you.
She said she was never a victim.
Yeah. So Mr. Gale, why don't you speak for yourself at this point now? Tell me your side of the story.
Me and my kid's mother, we haven't talked for a little while, but we agreed to co-parent because we knew that it was hurting the children. My kids love me and I love them with all my heart. It hurts my heart to stay away from them. That day I was at work. It was the week of the hurricane. So she asked me to come over to help out, bring groceries and stuff like that. I brought groceries. I had just helped her with the money to move in her new apartment. We was talking about some things, you know. We never hit each other. We never had physical altercations like that. We never We never had those type of problems before, and I don't know why they said we have a history of that, because we really don't. Arguments, I mean, no relationship is perfect. But for the most part, I love my kid's mother. I just want the best for her. I mean, she explained everything to the T.
To the T.
I wasn't running from anything when the cops knocked on the door. I opened the door for them. They said in the report, as I can remember, that I had scratches on my wrists and blood on my pants. I didn't. I felt like if I did, they would have taken pictures of it.
Yeah, that's true.
I told them she never hit me. I never hit her. I mean, the home invasion, I wasn't nowhere near my kid's mom's house that day. I had a plate in my arm. I had staples in my neck, my chest. I couldn't even commit that type of crime. I wasn't in the condition to, and I wouldn't, even if I was in the condition to, I wouldn't put my kids or their mama in that type of danger. It's unfortunate, you know. I'm a good person. I would never harm anybody. I don't have a criminal history of harming people. I can't even tell you the last time I got in a fight.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you that the police reports and y'all's rendition is very different. But I'm gonna ask Ms. Stapleton to go ahead and ask some questions at this time.
Hey, Mr. Gill, just heard the police reports and what you're saying are very different. I show that
police lies.
July of 2021, you were arrested for domestic abuse battery with child endangerment. And on December the 6th of 2022, same thing, domestic abuse battery with child endangerment. Also, you were on a parole violation for marijuana at that same time. You're looking like you don't know what I'm talking about.
No, ma'am.
Okay. But that's what's on here. And then also there seems to be mutual aggression because your partner, India, she has been arrested numerous times also with aggravated assault, and one with aggravated assault with a firearm, battery of a dating partner.
Battery of a dating.
Those are all very dangerous things because a lot of them are with child endangerment. Children are present. Who called the police on y'all this time that you say? I mean, somebody called. Y'all know?
No, ma'am, I never called the police. I don't know about my initial charge that I served time for and that I'm on parole for is for possession of marijuana. I don't have a marijuana. I never got caught with marijuana again after that.
Okay, so
but
it does show that you've been arrested before for domestic violence.
Get it together now.
Both of y'all. So anyway, your attorney was talking about that probation and parole are seeing things different, and this is what I want to read that they say. Due to the findings at the preliminary hearing and the public safety of the children who were present during the incident on 9/11/2024, the Lafayette District recommends revocation.
What?
It would also be a good thing if you would attend a domestic violence program. I can't make India do that. She's not the person that we're talking about today. She's not on parole or probation, so that's for you.
Let the man go.
And that is for me.
Let the
main interest is the children. Also, I wanted to ask something. It said here that the Faith House helped to get the apartment that she's in, and you both show that as your current address, although it does say the 300 instead of the 400, like she was saying. But anyway, the current address that y'all are living together. A lot of times, if a domestic violence shelter helps a woman get relocated, it usually the partner and the husband is not supposed to be living with them. Is that okay with the Faith House?
She's never been a member of the Faith House, and she could confirm that. I don't know where that comes from, man.
Oh my God! What kind of
She's never been a member of the Faith House.
No, that they helped her get her apartment.
Well,
No, they
ma'am,
did not.
I helped her get her apartment, ma'am.
Where are you getting this from?
Didn't have anything to do with it.
No, ma'am.
I haven't been to the Faith House. This apartment is in my name. I've paid my full rent. He helped me. He the only person helped me with my kids. And the days that we got arrested, 3 police came for 300 Fox Run. They came whenever he was incarcerated. They knocked on my door again. I had just got released. It was like 9:17. They knocked on my door hard and was saying they had another call for domestic again. They made a mistake again. I recorded it. I could email it to anyone, to his lawyer, to send to you. They made a mistake twice. I walked to them at the corner and I said, will this be a continuous problem? Because my kid's dad is sitting in jail right now for something they say we had domestic, just because we have a background. And he's saying I have aggravated assault. That all has been dismissed. Again, we're being stereotyped continuously. And it's crazy at this point because, of course, my children will be present.
Where I'm reading this from is the narrative in the police report. During the course of this investigation, it was learned that India is living at the address after receiving assistance from the Faith House. According to India, the Faith House helped her get the apartment after being involved in a domestic altercation with Domingo. However, Domingo now lives with India in the apartment. So that's from the police report.
That's a lying police.
Anyway, so I just want, that's basically my concerns. The presence of the children during these domestic violence assaults. Okay, that's all I have to say.
Can I speak at this time?
Mr. Allen, I will allow you to speak, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. As a representative of Mr. Domingo, I'm hearing that you are basing and giving a lot of weight to a police narrative. Now, from an attorney standpoint, police narratives are hearsay.
Exactly.
And they are reviewed by the district attorney's office. Those narratives that you are reading and giving great weight to have been reviewed prior to ever getting to this stage, and they were denied.
Yes!
And that means that they feel that they cannot reach the burden of proof, which is beyond a reasonable doubt. Right now, you're using those narratives and you're giving weight to them. From what I'm hearing, that this is leaning towards a revocation, whether that revocation came from the probation and parole at the hearing or whatever, because I didn't get those documents until this morning. 45 pages of documents I got this morning. However, I was there. Now, I do know that if this person was convicted, if Domingo was convicted and had his right to due process, then that would be a different finding. Because that at that point, the police would have been under question, witnesses would have been under questioning and everything.
Go ahead on.
But here we have the actual victim here who is putting on statements and saying, hey, this stuff in this narrative is not true. So it's almost what I'm seeing here is that they could not convict him in a court of law under due process, which is why they did not bring it.
Oh!
But it seems to me right now, this is getting ready to be used against him as though those statements are accurate and true. And I just have a problem with that because if that's the case, then we could have went to court, found him not guilty, and then hopefully it would have been a different outcome. But the district attorney themselves says there's no sense in taking this to court because we can't reach the burden of proof of beyond a reasonable doubt. So none of those charges are being lodged against him, except for right now. It seems that you're going to use the narrative to bring those charges against him. And I think that that is legally and patently unfair to Domingo because he was not given an opportunity for a due process hearing because he denied it. So that's my comment. Purely from a lawyer's perspective, I think that I have a right to bring that forward to him. So that's all I did, ma'am. Thank you very much.
It is well within your right. At this time, Mr. Prater, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, I don't have any questions, but I do want to make one thing clear because of the fact that there's so many people that listen to these and they don't always have the backstory.
Thank you.
And the backstory
Thank you, Steve.
is Mr. Domingo is not in jail and we're not here because of a simple possession of marijuana charge. I just want to make sure that you understand he was convicted of possession with intent to distribute and given 10 years. And the only reason I mention that is because there's so many people that have the false narrative that our prisons are full of people that are charged with simple marijuana, and that is simply not the case. So it's nothing about Mr. Domingo. That case is in the past, and that's been dealt with. He's been sentenced, and he's gotten out on parole, and all is fine. And I don't want him. There's nothing against Mr. Domingo, but
Steve.
I just want to make sure that the persons listening to this understand the full charge that he was convicted of. And I don't have any questions about the case. Thank you.
Steve ain't got nothing to say, y'all.
It would be important to note, and Mr. Allen, you were within your right to bring that up. However, when someone is on supervision, they have a contract, and the standard of proof is not that of a court of law, because they have violations, and we have hundreds of evidence that we use. So I just want to make sure that that you understand, we have police reports which we use as evidence. Okay, in this police report, Miss India on the home invasion stated, now see, anybody can recant, and they do 90% of the time. But she stated to the police in the report that it was Mr. Domingo who became enraged and forced his way into the apartment, breaking the bottom frame of the front window. So we have her statement.
No, you don't. You have what he said her statement said.
Okay. At this point,
let her talk.
Is the panel prepared to vote?
Let her talk. She had her
Yes,
hand up.
So, Ms. Stapleton.
Okay, I'm gonna revoke you based upon the domestic violence battery charge. And also, you do have a high tiger risk score, which
oh my God,
is something that is considered.
this is crazy.
Mr. Prater.
No. No.
I'm going to concur because it's.
Oh my God.
It doesn't make any difference because it has to be unanimous.
Oh, it does.
Oh, it does not have to be unanimous? Okay, I'm misunderstanding. I've got that confused with parole. I'm sorry. Well, that being the case, I think there's the high tiger score bothers me. Otherwise, I would say that I would vote not to revoke, but
not to revoke
because of the tiger score and nothing else.
The tiger score.
Counting on somebody else's, besides anybody on this board or any testimony, somebody else's opinion of reoffending, I'm going to vote to revoke.
What?
My vote is to not revoke, to mandate
not revoke
domestic abuse violence classes. However, today your parole has been revoked.
Oh my God.
And the location will be getting a notice. We are at the Lafayette Parish Correctional Center today.
Why he didn't just step what he said no?
Okay, that ends our business there. So it's 9:20 and we will adjourn.
I'm sorry, JT.
Thank you.
Hold on, let me rewind it a little bit for you. Hold on, JT. I got too emotional. Hold on.
The domestic violence battery charge. And also, you do have a high tiger risk score, which is something that is considered.
Mr. Prater.
I'm going to concur because it doesn't make any difference because it has to be unanimous.
Oh, it does.
Oh, it does not have to be unanimous? Okay, I'm misunderstanding. I've got that confused with parole. I'm sorry. Well, that being the case, I think there's the high tiger score bothers me. Otherwise, I would say that I would vote not to revoke, but because of the Tiger score and nothing else, and counting on somebody else's, besides anybody on this board or any testimony, somebody else's opinion of reoffending, I'm going to vote to revoke.
My vote is to not revoke, to mandate domestic abuse violence classes. However, today your parole has been revoked, and the location will be getting a notice. We are at the Lafayette Parish Corrections Center today at this hearing. Okay, that ends our business there. So it's 9:20 and we will adjourn.
Thank you.
JT and Bobby, y'all better leave me alone. Y'all know how y'all was yelling at the house too. It's just that I'm on live and I can't mute myself because it will be muted altogether if I mute it. So you wouldn't be able to hear at all. Y'all get on my nerves about Sylvia screaming I couldn't hear. Oh gosh, I just got upset on that one. Sorry. Oh, here's another one, y'all. Sorry, here's another one. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let me get. Hold on. Here's another one. All right, here we go. All right. I won't say anything anymore. I'll just be quiet. Because if I mute myself, y'all won't be able to hear. Hey, next level. All right, here we go. Here's the next one.
Yes, ma'am.
We are making contact with your attorney. We're going to just put you. What's a Tiger score? Let me go check it what it is. Hold on. Okay, a Tiger score is the reinvention of the justice system, right? Louisiana decreased mass incarceration, increased workforce. With a low risk score prisoners, they save $150. So basically, it's through facility collaboration, student effort, and by using big data analysis to evaluate the risk of a prisoner poses to society that and the needs they would have upon release. Okay, let's see. What is this Tiger score? The Tiger score now helps our field officers determine who do I want to spend my time with and who do I spot check periodically. We're able to prioritize our resources and reinvent state funds where we get the biggest bang for our buck. Okay, let's see, what is that? It's a parole assistant for reentry clinic. Hold on, I'm just looking, I'm looking. It's a parole project, and it's like a scoring system. I'm gonna tell you what it is. Hold on. Tiger Prison Project. Okay, it stands for Target Intervention
to greater enhanced reentry. That's what it stands for. Target intervention to greater enhanced
All right, good morning. The Louisiana Committee on Parole is in panel headquarters in Baton Rouge. We're hearing an offender at Riverbend. Would the officer introduce yourself, please, sir?
My name is Lieutenant Jonathan.
And Mr. Johnson, thank you very much. Today on panel to my left is Ms. Stapleton. Virtually is Mr. Prater. I'm Ms. Ledoux. Would the offender please state your name and your DOC number?
Montreal Gang 771520.
Okay. Mr. Gaines, do you have a piece of paper in front of you that is a parole revocation questionnaire?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recognize your signature on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the answers to that questionnaire indicate that you are not eligible for appointed counsel and you do not have a retained attorney today. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I am going to be reading the charges against you. Could you sit up so I can see you better? Half of your face is... Okay, yeah, just sit back. Thank you. We can still hear. You have been charged with violating your conditions of parole, and I'm going to read the allegations. And if you will, would you please enter a plea of guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a statement?
Yes, ma'am.
Number 4, you failed to refrain from illegal use of drugs as evidenced by your testing positive on 10/17/2024 for fentanyl and cocaine, and you were referred to our in-house substance abuse counselor, Sarah Cobb. It was determined that you needed to complete detox and inpatient treatment, and you were transported to the Grove for services. On 10/21, you were discharged from the Grove due to non-compliance. After being discharged, a parole warrant was requested and issued. How do you plead?
Guilty with a statement, if you don't mind.
I'll give you a chance to give that statement when Mr. Prater is talking with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, number 7, on 11/15/2024, the PMP agents executed a warrant, and for over an hour, you refused to comply to verbal commands to exit the home, and it took at least an hour for you to comply before being taken into custody. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
And number 10, you failed to make payments toward your supervision fees and are currently $252 in arrears.
Guilty.
Okay. So let's see, you were paroled May 21st, 2024, and you were detained 11/15/2024, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. At this time, I'm going to ask you to answer questions by Mr. Prater.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, Mr. Gaines, your drug screen came back, but you denied using illegal drugs while you were on parole, but your drug screen came back hot.
They got the chain gang.
But then you did admit to using cough syrup and Mojo. Is that correct?
No, sir. When I was my parole officer asked me what drug did I ever use, I told her when I was in jail I was smoking Mojo. When I was at home, I got shot 7 times. So I asked my grandma and my aunt for some pain medicine. The pain medicine they gave me, they got it off the streets, which was laced with fentanyl and cocaine. When I talked to my parole officer, I was scared to tell her because I thought I'd go to jail. But when I went to rehab, they tried to get me to take Suboxone pills, and I asked my family what was Suboxone pills, and my family told me that Suboxone pills is like a drug the same as fentanyl. So that's why I didn't do it, and they hold that over my head that I didn't take the Suboxone pill, and like they hold it over my head for days, and then they finally just woke me up and said they releasing me from the program.
You went to drug rehab and then they kicked you out of drug rehab.
Yes, sir, because I didn't take Suboxone pill that drug, because my like, when I took the pill that I got from my aunt, the pill was laced with fentanyl and cocaine. It sent me unconscious. I already don't do no drugs. I don't do no pills, no none of that. And so that already had scared me in my mind to not take any pills. When I took the pill from her, it sent me unconscious. Then like 2 days later, I went to see my parole officer. That's how I had fentanyl and cocaine in my system from the fake press pill.
So you're telling them you're just a drug dealer. You're not a drug user.
No, I'm not a drug. I got a fake pill. I don't sell no drugs. I bought a fake pill. Like my aunt gave me a fake pill that she got from somebody off the street. I don't sell no drugs. I don't do drugs.
Well, I thought it said in the report somewhere that you said you just sold drugs. Did you used to sell drugs?
Oh, sir, I never sold drugs.
What kind of?
I never had a drug problem on probation. I never went to jail for drugs. I never failed the drug test since I've been on parole. I got 5 months left on parole. I never been on no drugs. I never failed the drug test. I never did none of that. Like since I've been on parole, this is the first time I ever got in trouble on parole. This is the first time I don't even know why I'm in like so much of trouble. And I came back to jail. I've been in jail for 2 months behind, like, you know, me taking a fake pill. I got shot 7 times. That's the only reason I even took the pill. I don't take no medication. I'm not prescribed medication. I don't do no drugs.
Okay, you got shot 7 times?
Yes, sir.
I don't really want to go into that, but that's unusual. So you got you got ordered to drug rehab because of this pill you took because you got shot 7 times.
Yes, sir. That's the only reason I even went there. And the pill that I got, it was a fake pill that was my aunt that I thought I could trust. Like my aunt didn't think somebody gonna give her a fake pill. She was just trying to help me because I got shot 7 times and my pain level was high. She didn't have intentions on giving me a fake pill that had fentanyl and cocaine in it. That was not her intention.
Okay. Did you go to the doctor when you were shot? Am I hearing that right? 7 times you were shot.
Went to jail.
Yeah, I was shot 7 times, but that's before I went to jail. Like when it get cold outside, the pain.
Oh, okay. That was a long time back.
Slow. He sounds slow.
That was like 2 years ago. But when it get cold outside, the
roll guys
aching,
sound slow.
Tends to come back, and it just a real hurt.
Okay, tell me about this deal where they waited for an hour outside for you to come out, or you wouldn't come out of the house. What happened then?
They said it took me an hour to come outside. When I woke up, it took me 5 minutes to go outside. I'm telling my parole officer, because that's why she said she gonna send me in front of the board. If I knew the probation officer was outside my house, I would have got up. The only reason I didn't even hit him is I had a fan on and my TV on. My baby wasn't even crying, and my baby's only 9 months old. So that's why I'm like, they telling me they've been there for an hour. My baby would have been started crying. I would have been knew y'all was outside.
You think they just making that up?
No, I'm not saying they making it up, sir, but I'm just saying, Mr. Prater, I'm just saying, like, they probably was, but I didn't hear them to say, I'm just not opening the door for y'all. Like, that's my whole point.
I need your help, sir.
Okay.
You trying to help?
You trying to help? You trying to help?
I just
I forgot you did work on Saturday.
You shouldn't have been taking that pill. I don't have any more questions.
Wait, I forgot I booked his haircut for Saturday.
Ms. Stapleton.
I don't have any questions.
Mr. Gaines, I distinctly heard you say You only smoked Mojo in prison.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is it permissible? Is it okay to smoke Mojo in prison?
No, ma'am. I said, no, ma'am. That was,
So you didn't follow the rules while you were in prison, is what you're saying?
no, I'm saying like that's what, when my parole officer asked me what drugs I ever did. I said, when I was in jail, I smoked Mojo one time. That's what I told her. I said, I didn't, I don't, that's what I was saying. Like, that's the only drugs I ever did. When she asked me what drugs have I ever did in my life, that's what I told her.
Okay. The statements we have received from the treatment facility are very disturbing about what you said. And you are on parole for crimes of violence, right? A crime of violence. So, and that concerned me. So, Mr. Gaines, I think the panel is prepared to vote. Mr. Prater, are you prepared?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. I vote to revoke because of the violation of rule number 4, rule number 7, and rule number 10.
Ms. Stapleton.
I concur.
Mr. Gaines, by the preponderance of evidence, the report that we have received being dismissed from treatment, my vote is to revoke your parole. So at this time, you've been revoked, and we're going to close off there at Riverside, River Bend. It's now 10:50. Thank you. All right. That's that guy, right? They ain't giving nobody no chances, y'all. Hold on, let's see if we got another one. Hold on. They ain't giving nobody no chances. Yes, ma'am.
I knew it was AAA.
It's AAA. So I gotta go get some AAA. But I need batteries anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Good morning. This is the Committee on Parole. We're impaneled in headquarters in Baton Rouge. Serving today on my left is Ms. Stapleton. Virtually is Mr. Prater. I'm Ms. Ledoux. I noticed there's someone there at the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison. Sir, would you please introduce yourself, the officer?
Yes, ma'am. Lieutenant Murphy.
Okay, Lieutenant Murphy, thank you for joining us. This time, would the offender please state your name and your DSC number?
My name is Marcus Allen. My DOC number is 442734.
Mr. Allen, you're before this panel due to allegations of violation of your conditions of parole. Before we get started, do you have a piece of paper in front of you that has your signature that
Yes,
indicates, okay, and it recognize your signature?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that indicates that you are not eligible for appointed counsel, and I don't see any retained counsel. I'm going to read the allegations against you, at which time I would like for you to enter a plea of guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a statement. Rule violation number 4, you were involved in criminal activity in the commission of the offense of simple assault, other force in West Baton Rouge Parish under incident report 2463 by the Port Allen Department on 10/27/2024. How do you plead?
Guilty with a statement, ma'am.
Okay, we'll get to that statement. Mr. Prater can ask you about that. Also, you failed to make monthly supervision fees, and no payment has been made since June of 24. You're in arrears $252. How do you plead?
Guilty with a statement, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, this is gonna give us a feel of what.
Okay, if you will, answer questions by Mr. Prater.
Okay, Mr. Allen, I'm trying to.
Hold on, I just want to put a pause on a second. This is going to give us a feel of what we can expect with DeMonte's hearing and also with the other guy, Winfrey, because they have revocation of their probation. So this is the kind of stuff that, kind of get you a little bit to understand what they're looking for and if they're violation and what the standards they have. Okay. Even though it's a different state, but it's the same type of stuff.
I figure out here, tell me about the stalking and threatening a victim. You showed up, you made some cell phone threats to this lady. Is that true?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. What did you threaten to do to her?
Well, sir, I told her that I was going to slap her and that I was going to mess up her restaurant.
Okay. And did you show up at the restaurant?
I did, sir. I showed up at the restaurant afterwards, like 20 minutes after I had made those threats. I had thought about it. And this is a lady that I'm in a relationship with.
Denied.
And
sorry,
I had
y'all.
thought about it, Mr. Prater, and I was like, I need to make this right. And I know that I went about that the wrong way.
Okay. And so then she left the restaurant and you followed her. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. When I seen her and she got into her vehicle.
What? This guy is burying himself. We already know the answer to this one because the other guy was fairly like unfair. Look at the guy behind him, the officer. He's sleeping back there. Hold on.
And she was motioning with her hands, and I didn't know what she was saying, so I called her, and she had done left already, and it told me that she was going to police station, and she said that she thinks I need to go there and sit down and talk with them. And I put Port Allen PD in my GPS, and I went there. I thought she was pulling my leg at first, but when I went over there, I seen her vehicle was over there, and I went over there. I know I'm on parole, and I didn't want any of this to get back to my parole officer, so I did go. And I spoke with the officers, and they asked me what happened, and I owned up. I told them what was going on. I told them what I'd done. And, all those things were said out of anger,
Had you been stalking her for 2 months?
No, sir. I haven't been stalking her. The whole thing with that was she wanted to just give the relationship a break for 2 months. And that's whenever I just went in my feelings, Mr. Prater. And, I thought she was cheating on me. I didn't know what was going on. And
okay. Did the officers at Port Allen try to get you to sign a paper saying you wouldn't go back to the restaurant?
They did. She told me, the officer did tell me that. She said, I don't have to. I don't have to sign if I don't want to. But she said, look, just for right now, just don't go around the restaurant and just don't call her. And this took place on October the 27th. I got emotional.
Why didn't you sign the paper?
I don't know, sir. I got emotional. I started crying and I left from out the police station. They came out, asked me if I was okay. I shook both their hands and I left. And
okay. Are you a registered sex offender?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. When did you start dating that lady?
Back in February.
And were y'all dating in May?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God.
Okay. Let me just ask you this, because I think being a registered sex offender and the fact it's noted in the probation parole, and because it concerns me, is when you went to the probation parole office in May of 2024, before you went through the metal detector, you pulled out and they said you had a pocket full of condoms. Being a registered, I wouldn't normally get into private people business and all that business, but you dating somebody and so much in love with them that you'd stalk them, yet you got a pocket full of condoms.
Wait a minute. Let me rewind that one. Hold on, y'all. He had a pocket full of condoms. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, say. I'm sorry, say. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. It's not a laughing matter. But I'm shocked, y'all, okay? I'm just shocked. I'm just shocked. I'm shocked, okay? That's all. I don't want to be angry. I'm just shocked, okay? I'm shocked, okay? It's not funny. It's not funny, but I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Yes, this is real. This is real, y'all. This is real. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet. Sorry.
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. When did you start dating that lady?
Back in February.
And were y'all dating in May?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me just ask you this, because it's, I think, being a registered sex offender and the fact it's noted in the probation parole, and because it concerns me, is when you went to the probation parole office in May of 2024, before you went through the metal detector, you pulled out and they said you had a pocket full of condoms. Being a registered, I wouldn't normally get into private people business and all that business, but you dating somebody and so much in love with them that you'd stalk them, yet you got a pocket full of condoms. And I understand they can be for, to keep from getting pregnant. I understand a lot of things, but that's kind of unusual. I know the big joke about somebody in high school got one in their wallet or something, but a pocket full, a grown man, a grown sex offender, that don't make sense to me. What's the deal?
I just had them, sir. Every time I go to probation and parole, I mean, I was using protection, and I didn't think that would be a problem.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a problem. I'm just kind of trying to get to know you a little bit. Okay. And notice you're number 10. How much money are you owe? Don't you owe some money to probation and parole?
Yes, sir, I do.
How much?
Right now, sir, I'm at $252 in the hole.
Okay.
It's not a whole lot. That was going to get taken care of, sir. Mr. Prater, I'm not going to lie to you, sir. I have been mismanaging my money. It's nobody's fault but my fault.
Okay. And you got 15 years and 15 years, total of 30 years. If you put them together, you were paroled in January 24, and here you're already in trouble for some pretty serious charges.
Well, I don't have no charges against me, Mr. Prater, but I'm in violation, sir.
Yes, sir. Pretty charges that you violated some rules. You're right. You saying it right way. You saying it right, and I'm saying it right. Okay. I don't have any more questions.
Mr. Stapleton.
Yes, I've listened to Mr. Prater and the questions that he had for you. Very concerning for me since you did have an aggravated sexual assault charge.
Yes, ma'am.
And I can understand why this lady would be, well, you gave her threats. You gave her threats, you showed up. And the stalking charge, I think, was valid. So all of that does concern me very much. So I see too that you pled guilty to these things at one hearing. So I have no questions.
Mr. Allen, if you needed to get anger management, you were at the Parole Project. You didn't take anger management classes?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, Parole Project, they have been there for me. And
Did you anger management classes?
Yes, ma'am. And
so non-compliant with that I mean, that didn't necessarily help you with the anger.
No, I mean, it's not that, ma'am. I messed up, Miss Ledoux, and
Okay, well, and unfortunately today you have to answer for that, okay?
Well, Miss Ledoux, yes, ma'am.
I think we have enough information. Mr. Allen, Mr. Prager, if you would begin with the vote.
My vote is to revoke violations of Rule 4 and 2 and 10.
And Ms. Stapleton.
I concur.
And Mr. Allen, based on your guilty pleas, my vote is also to revoke your parole. I hope that it goes better next time. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
That concludes our business at 11:07 with East Parish Prison.
All right, so we got another one, y'all. There's another one coming up. Hold on. They had a whole bunch in the day. All right, they get ready to start the next one. They haven't started yet. They're waiting on him. Oh, y'all, this last one. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Cheese and crackers, y'all. Lord, 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 Lord. I started watching this parole thing about a month ago, and I was like, some of the stuff is so crazy. What does revoking his probation mean? Meaning now he has to go serve time in jail, the rest of his time in jail from the say for example, he was on probation for 5 years, right? And then he was out for about 4 years, right? And so throughout the whole 5 years of being out on probation means that you can't do any kind of crime, right? And if you do any kind of crime, you got to go before like a judge or even to a parole board, and they have to determine whether or not they're going to revoke your probation, meaning they take the time and you have to go to jail and serve the rest of the time, or they might just let you slide, pat you in their hands so that you slide and go forward. Okay. So Mr. Wood, they was waiting for Mr. Wood's attorney, you remember? So now the attorney is here, which is Marcus Myers. Okay, here we go. They get ready to get started. Lady's gonna come in a minute. You learn a lot, Shanika. You learn a lot in this. Okay, makes sense. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, honestly, I thought these would be kind of boring, but they're crazy. No, they're very crazy, Jesse. You really gotta listen.
Okay.
Sorry, that thing is.
The time is now 11:15. The Louisiana Committee on Parole is impaneled in Baton Rouge. Today on panel to my left is Ms. Stapleton. Virtually is Mr. Prater and Ms. Ledoux. We are hearing an offender at Rain City Jail. Before we get started, I know we have some people who have joined us, including your attorney. Mr. Woods, would you please state your name and your DOC number for the record?
Brian Anthony Woods Jr., DOC number 630155.
Mr. Woods, do you have a piece of paper in front of you that's a parole revocation, or you saw it earlier on the screen, didn't you?
Yes, ma'am.
You acknowledge that you are not eligible for appointed counsel. You do have Mr. Marcus Myers, an attorney who's here. Mr. Myers, you're welcome to work with your client as needed. At this point, I'm going to be reading violations into the record. And from Mr. Woods, I will need a plea of guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a statement. You are accused of violating condition number 4. On September 8th, 2024, you were engaged in criminal activity and committed cruelty to juveniles. On September 15th, 2024, you were arrested by the Lafayette Parish Sheriff's Office and booked into the Correctional Center for the above charge. How do you plead?
Guilty.
He guilty, y'all.
Also of note, October 18, 2024, those charges were refused by the Lafayette Parish District Attorney's Office.
Your Councilman, or Your Honor, if I may, we'd like to withdraw that guilty plea. He meant to plead not guilty.
So, sir,
he said I said not guilty. No, you didn't.
You are saying that you are guilty or not guilty of criminal activity committing cruelty to juveniles?
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
He said, I thought I said not guilty. No, dude, you said guilty.
We have, I do not believe we have the other two people who had initially signed in. So at this time, Mr. Myers, then you would be, it would be your turn to talk.
Okay. I did submit a letter to the board November 26, 2024, outline our position. So as you stated, that the charges were rejected. And so I know that the board looks at behavior and misconduct. So I'd like to look at the behavior of Mr. Woods on that day. The charges were rejected. He was at his girlfriend's home. He wasn't at a bar or a disreputable place where you expect something like this to happen. The child in question has severe mental and behavioral issues. Her mother is on the Zoom. She can speak to that. But she's the one that became aggressive to the mother. Mr. Wood simply stepped into the room to inquire as to what was happening. The girl then focused on Mr. Woods as her source of ire, came at him physically. He turned to leave. The girl blocked his path from leaving. As far as I understand, Mr. Woods put his hand on her shoulder, or maybe two hands, moved her out of the way, and left the house. I would submit that his conduct was not criminal. It was responsible, and I know the standard for revocation is looking at misconduct is if there's a substantial risk that he will commit another felony. And the fact that he left the scene before things got out of hand shows me that he is making the right decisions, and I don't think he will be in any further criminal activity. And that's why I think it's important to consider the place where he was. He was at a good, reputable place where he should be. The other standard is would all right here. And basically, aside from the night of the day in question where he was arrested, Brian has done so well in every other aspect. He's enrolled in the domestic violence intervention program. I have a letter that I just received today from his counselor, so I apologize I was not able to submit it. I can put it on the screen here as to his progress. He's accountable for his behavior. He's open to group members. He's open to discusses all the different topics. He's completes all the assignments. He's making positive changes. He's completed 7 classes. So Mr. Woods has done everything I believe you would want him to do since being released. The only problem he had was this night in question, and I think he handled it to the best of his ability. And I don't think he did anything to bring it upon himself or put him in that situation, or that would lead the board to believe that he would continue or have any other kind of problems in the future. In fact, everything he's done shows that he will not have any problems in the future. We do have his employer here that can speak to how well he's done. And we also have the mother of the girl involved in the altercation with Mr. Woods, and I think she can shed some light on what happened. She was an actual eyewitness, as well as can explain to her daughter's behavioral issues. So I just go ahead.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and hear from the mother at this point then. I think that was the appropriate thing. Ms. Reyes,
Hi, yes, ma'am.
could you address the board and tell us what you'd like to know about the allegations?
Okay, so that night, yes, like the lawyer was saying, my daughter and I were in a disagreement, and she was very aggressive with me, and Mr. Woods did come in and try to diffuse the situation. She did then turn aggressive towards him. My daughter does have a lot of substantial mental health issues. She's very destructive, which since this incident, she has been receiving help for. However, her behavior isn't still where it needs to be. On a positive note, she will be leaving for Job Corps to try to at least get her education. And other than that, he did simply move her. I thought that he did the right thing by leaving the house, to not engage in any more of what was going on, you know, even after he left, between her and I. My mother was the one that called the cops a week after the incident. And during that week, you know, Mr. Woods, he was still present in the home, and, you know, the kids didn't have a problem. Like, there was never any kind of altercations between myself or the girls with him ever until that night. I'm sorry, what else am I?
She wrote a letter, didn't she?
Yes, my daughter did write a letter on behalf of Mr. Woods, and she did also include and take part of her responsibility of what happened that night.
We have received those, and all of those are part of our file that we've reviewed already. If we can hear from Mr. Booty. Mr. Booty, co-worker.
There you go, Mr.
Booty, if you'll address the panel with what you'd like for us to know.
Yes, ma'am. Brian Woods was hired not far after he was released from prison. He started off as a scaffold helper that we used on land projects and different plants and different community projects around our area. He's been a reliable employee since then. He's taken on leadership aspirations. He came on to be a yard supervisor in that time, and then now he's also, well, his plan track was to be an offshore cleaning tech that would lead him to offshore supervisor in the cleaning division that he was recruited from because of his outstanding work and reliability. So he's a viable part of our division and our diverse services division at Acadian Contractors. My boss is the division manager for that, and he's the one that recruited him to go into that division. So he still has a job pending whenever he's done with this, and the guys are waiting for him to return.
You've never had any disciplinary issues with him based on behavior, his anger or anything?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am, not at all.
Okay.
Excuse me. I have one more person that would like to speak. They said I could have 3, and one more would like to speak on my behalf, if it's okay with the board.
Are they?
With you? Yeah, they're with me right here next to me.
The police chief of Rain, I believe, right?
Oh,
Yes,
police
sir.
chief. Whoa.
Accept that. Police chief.
Police
Yes, sir, would
chief
you
want to
introduce
talk to
yourself?
him. Okay.
Good morning. My name is Carol Stelly, Chief of Police for the City of Rain. We run a DOC camp over here. It's a work camp. I got Brian here like 5 years ago and got enlisted into the program. Our program kind of teaches skill set out in the community, doing work for nonprofit churches, city.
Okay,
In
we might
over
have one,
5
y'all.
years, he has grown as a person on his skill set. We never had any type of write-up for discipline. He coexists. He's also took part going out our DARE program. He has spoken to children to try to get the kids to stay on the right path. And since he's been out, I kind of been a mentor to Brian, along with other guys that come through our program. They stay in touch. Brian was going to church with family members. And if I recall, he was even taking his associate's daughter, the one that he had a problem with, to church, trying to get her on the right path. Had a job, being productive. He'd call me, check in. And a matter of fact, when all this came up, he called me. And I told him, "For Brian, the right thing to do is to go to meet with the sheriff department. If you've done that wrong, you need to go and meet with him." And besides that, we never had any issue with Brian as long as he's been incarcerated with us or out in the community.
All right, we got one,
I
y'all.
appreciate you joining us today and providing that.
No problem.
Okay.
Brian's going home, y'all.
Thank you. Mr. Woods, we do have the probation and parole officer, Mr. James Taylor, and he would like to speak. Mr. Taylor, at this time, could you address the panel?
Come on, Taylor, don't mess up on him now.
Yes, ma'am. I supervised him starting in July. My interaction with him, he's been nothing but respectful. From looking at the notes, he's always reported. He paid on his parole fees as directed.
Why are we here?
From reading the narratives, I haven't noticed any problems out of him besides this criminal activity.
And you're convinced there was criminal activity?
Yes, ma'am.
Convinced? How's it criminal activity?
That's the only violation he has is just the criminal activity. But as far as anything else, he's always reported as directed. He's paid on his fees. We haven't had any problems with him besides this one incident.
Okay. Mr. Woods, Mr. Prater is going to be asking you some questions, okay?
Good afternoon, Mr. Woods.
Good afternoon, Mr. Prater.
Morning. I got just a couple of questions, and it involves
Good morning.
you state now that you just moved her out of the way, correct?
Yes, sir.
But after giving your Miranda rights to the detective, according to the report here that I'm reading, you admitting your temper got the best of you. You pushed her to the ground and she hit the vanity.
No, when
is that which is right?
Something.
No, when she lunged at me, when I first went in to defuse the situation and she lunged at me, I moved out of the way, and when she lunged, I just moved her out of the way and she fell to the floor and hit the vanity. And that's when I proceeded to leave and she ran out and she blocked me and I moved her out of my way. I gave the little child a hug and I left.
So what you're saying is the detective wrote the statement down wrong?
Yes.
Because I'm reading exactly what the detective wrote.
Something's up with these.
Mr. Woods initially denied hitting the girl. However, as the interview progressed, Mr. Woods admitting to letting his temper get the better of him and pushing the girl to the ground, causing her to hit the vanity. That's what I've got to read. Can you help me to understand the difference?
I'm not saying that he made it seem like I pushed her into the vanity. The mom was in the room. When she lunged at me, I just moved out of the way. I just moved her out of the way and she fell. She lunged. She actually lunged at me. and I moved her out of the way, and she fell into the vanity, and I proceeded to leave, and she came again, and that's when I moved her out of my way. I gave the little one a hug, and I left, Mr. Prater. I felt like I was doing the right thing by trying to leave the whole scenario, because I know what I am facing. I know everything that I'm facing. So I'm not trying to hurt the child or anything. I really went in to diffuse the situation, and I tried to get out of there. Yes, sir.
When you say you hugged the little one, was that the 12-year-old that was in the room?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, and speaking of her statement is a little bit damning against you also. Do you know what she said?
No.
Are you aware of what she said?
No, sir.
Okay, she said you pinned her sister against the wall with one hand around her neck. You pushed her down the hall, and the girl that you're supposed to have hurt was spit blood and saliva on the floor. She was spitting up from being choked.
Oh Lord, now that's a lie, y'all. Come on.
I understand the
That's a
older
lie.
one being mentally whatever, but why would the 12-year-old say that? Now, this is several days after the incident occurred.
Because that's her
at the
sister. Her sister
detective's
probably told her to
office.
say that.
Mr. Prater, I'll be honest with you. She wasn't even in the room when the incident occurred. So why she would say it? The police was called on me a week later, Mr. Prater.
Right.
A week later. So I saw the kids even after that night that the incident happened. So for her to say that she wasn't even in, I had to go to her room to hug her, which you can ask the mother. She'll tell you that she was right there. I went into her room to hug her, and then I left. Now, why the grandmother decided to call the police a week later, I'll never understand that, and it's why I'm here today. I take accountability for my part in trying to help, but I did not think it would lead to any of this, and I'm sorry that I'm having to face this, but I felt like I've done everything right. Even since I've got out, I'm taking the domestic classes. I'm doing everything to be a productive citizen, to be home, because I just served a lot of time in prison.
Oh wow.
Yes.
I really felt like I did the right thing by leaving. And a week later, I didn't, when the police called, I went and met with the sheriff. I didn't run. I didn't feel like I did anything wrong to do anything. I went and I talked, and I got put in jail. That's all I could say. Why she said that, though, you can ask the mother. She was not even in the room when the incident started.
Okay, and the final question I have, can you explain the digital images that the detective saw taken by, I assume, the grandmother, that shows a large bump on the top left corner of her forehead, reddened elbows and knees, and what appeared to be small
grandmothers don't want
to
them
her
around.
lower back area? Now, I don't know what the lower back area, that's not even come up, so we won't deal with that, but how did she get all knotted up on her head, or why would the grandmother take pictures and
The
submit them?
grandmother wasn't even there.
Can you tell us that?
Mr. Prater, I don't know. I don't want to lie to you. I didn't see no images, so I don't know.
And be honest with you, I have not seen the images either. I'm just reading the
I can't. I don't want to lie to you, Mr. Prater. I don't want to lie to you. I don't know nothing about any images, so I can't answer that.
The mother wants to say something. The mother wants to say something. Hello.
Okay.
Can I say something?
It's up to the chairman, the chair lady running the meeting.
Is this something pertinent to what we're talking about right now?
Yes, ma'am. It's in regards to like the photos or whatnot. is that okay that I continue?
I'll allow it, yes.
Okay, so my mom had sent me over one photo of where Rayleigh had obtained a bruise, and then after speaking to her about that photo, that happened when my daughter fell in the middle of the road. We have a gravel road. My daughter is also anemic, so she's low efficiency on iron. She bruises super easily. Any other photo as far as like knots on the head or anything like that, the only photo, like I said, that was presented to me from my mom directly, and the only one that she said that she had was that it was a bruise with a little cut on it, and then that occurred on our road.
Okay. I think that we have gotten all the information we need.
Well,
Mr.
let me, excuse me, Madam Chairman, let me ask the mom for just a second. Why would the 12-year-old be lying for the 15-year-old?
That I'm not sure, but I can assure you that my 12-year-old was in her room the entire time. Her door was closed. There was no way of her even seeing the incident, because she knew as soon as I went back there and Rayleigh and I were getting into the altercation, she closed her door. She doesn't like to hear when things like that go on. So I know for a fact that she didn't see or hear. I mean, she didn't see anything as far as what went on that night, because she stayed in her room with her door closed.
Mr. Myers, let me ask you something.
Yes,
Why does the judge say he's going to postpone his revocation of probation until the board decides? Can you help me out there?
I can't. I don't know why he did that. I don't know if it was just, late in the day and he didn't want to deal with, had other cases and just thought maybe he could see it get resolved.
Put it off on us.
I don't say that. I don't know. I can't speak to it.
You can't say it, but I can say it. Okay.
This is crazy.
All right.
This man needs to go.
That's all the questions that I have.
Ms. Stapleton has a question.
Yeah, I've got a follow-up on what Mr. Prater asked about the younger sister. She did speak to Deputy Didier, and she advised that she was in her bedroom. She was doing laundry at the time and she heard yelling. And then she went to go peek and observed Brian grab her sister by the neck and strangling her. And then she returned to her bedroom, at which time she heard someone falling. And then she went to look again, at which time she observed Brian shove her sister in the hallway. And she heard her sister coughing up blood and observed blood on the floor. So yeah, you wouldn't have seen her, and neither would her mother, because she was hiding. But she did tell the detective how she saw what she saw. So that's the statement I wanted to make as to y'all didn't see her and she was in the bedroom. She was in and out of the bedroom quietly. That's all I have to say.
Oh my God, they making up stuff now, y'all.
Mr. Wood, are you okay? Your eyes look.
No, I was just crying because I'm scared. It's just I'm scared. I hear the point that she snuck in and out, but I mean, I don't feel like if I was so irate, I left. I don't know what else I could do in that situation but move the child and leave, because I know what I'm facing. So I just felt like I did the right thing and enrolling in classes and doing everything I'm supposed to do to show y'all that I'm not a statistic, that I'm not a somebody that's going to be back in front of y'all. I feel like I was doing the right things, becoming the supervisor, and I just brought me a brand new car, and I was living again, and I just don't want that stripped away, based on me thinking I did the right thing, and a week later the grandma called the police on me, and now I'm facing this. I'm sorry.
No, that's not just concerned about you. I think that we're prepared to vote. Mr. Brown.
No.
Can we go to executive session, please, ma'am?
We have a vote to go into executive session. Do we have a second?
No, don't let him.
Roll call.
No.
Steve Carter,
Yes.
Carolyn Stapleton,
Yes.
Jerry Ledoux.
Yes. So we're going to be discussing confidential information and we will return shortly.
Oh, y'all. They still on that little session. Oh, they in the oh gosh, y'all. Oh my God. Let the man go. Let the man go, y'all. Let the man go. Let the man go. Right, Kobe? Let the man go. Kobe said, let the man go. He up here. Kobe harassing me right now. Me too. He started crying. He shouldn't be But that girl lied. Those kids lie, man. You like these? How you think? I like them too. I've been watching them. I did not see. I should listen to CMT. When CMT tell me to do something, I need to do it because CMT been trying to get me to show stuff that I do and things like that. And CMT, I apologize. Okay. Let me just tell y'all a little something. Okay. Okay. Listen to this. Okay. Listen to me. My people be trying to give me stuff to show y'all. My people, I'm telling you. But me, I be like, look, I don't want to do this. Look, I don't. And you know, folks be. Let me tell you, they had me on the phone Saturday. Stephanie and CMT had me on the phone, give me different ideas, stuff to bring to you guys, right? And I'm like, I'm coming. And plus, you know, I was doing life, okay? I was doing life. I was doing life. I was doing my life. Yeah, I would leave her too. You say you'll never forget the condoms. Yeah, if I was him, yeah, I would definitely leave her because that's not a kind of relationship you need to be in with somebody who had mental issues. Number one, the girl has mental issues. You know kids with mental issues will lie. I'm telling you, because they're always trying to get somebody in trouble. I'm telling you, I know. I've been through it. I understand. And y'all, he tried his hardest. They need to start having some consequences for these kids that lied. Yeah, the grandmother don't like him. You think it might be because of his color? What do you think? Do you think the grandmother? Kids with mental issues. You're right. Next level. You're right. All kids will lie. You're right. All kids. All right, they're back, y'all. They back. Oh, here we go.
Okay, the panel is returning at 11:45. Roll call.
Steve Carter,
Here.
Jerry Ledoux.
Here.
Carolyn Stapleton.
Here.
Okay, Mr. Woods, after we've heard all of the testimony, we've heard your attorney as well as probation and parole, police chief. I think the panel is prepared to vote. Mr. Prater will take lead.
Okay. Mr. Woods, I think you better be very, I know you've been careful, but I think you be very, very careful in the future to avoid the appearance of impropriety. But my vote is to give you another chance. I'm listening to the chief and I'm listening to your parole agent, listening to both of them. And so I think that you don't need to be revoked is my vote.
Mr. Woods, what happened was concerning, and I don't think you should have been brought into that situation. But you were. From what y'all say, from the mother said the daughter is going into Job Corps to help her with her behavior problems. And then also you're already enrolled in the domestic violence intervention program, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that a 26-week course? How long?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so my vote would be to not revoke you with the condition that you finish, you complete the domestic violence intervention.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
My vote is also do not revoke, continue supervision with completion of domestic abuse battery. I mean, domestic violence intervention. Mr. Woods, I think Mr. Prater's little sermon was appropriate, and I would second that sermon. You need to not have any
Yes,
slip
ma'am.
up.
Yes,
Get
ma'am.
away
Thank
from
y'all
my
so much.
girlfriend.
Thank y'all.
Okay, I don't know.
Thank you,
We're
Lord.
11:47.
And I apologize for my schedule. I was in federal court. I would have been here earlier, but thank you, Lord.
Whew, finally, yes. Okay, here come another one. Rodney William is next. No, we got Lawrence Brewer. Got quite a few of them. Troy Bridges, Ronald Williams. Okay, we got Lawrence Brewer is supposed to be next. They do have a busy day, don't they? All right, y'all. We got one, y'all. We got one. Yeah, he might as well. Next level. I agree. He needs to leave her. Because if the grandmother don't like you, then you got the kids lying on you. You need to go, dude. Forget that woman. Move on in another relationship because you're going to have problems. Stay away from her. Yeah, when you have problems with the kids, you need to go. You need to go. Yeah, he need to get away from that. All right, y'all. We on our little break until they come back with another one. They might be going to lunch because it's almost 12 o'clock over there, right, y'all? They might be going to lunch. We probably gonna come back afterwards. I mean, they're probably gonna come back. But you know what? We probably need to close this out, start the new one, start a new live, so we can get this. Yeah, they probably going to lunch. So they're so rude. They don't even tell you if they're going to lunch. They don't even tell you if they're going to lunch. Let me set up my next live to talk about it. What we watching? We're watching parole revocation hearings, and it's real good. Be yourself for a while. Yeah. Yes, he need to be by himself for a while. He need to be alone. Forget about that woman. Forget about that relationship. All right, I'm gonna set it up for another. Hold on, we're gonna set it up. Let me set it up for our. Yeah, I think they went to lunch. They're so rude. They don't even tell people, hey, we're going to lunch, lunchtime. They just gonna have us sitting here. Oh, they're coming back, y'all. Hold on, I'm curious. All right, I'm setting up the our live. I'm going to end this one here and I'm gonna set us up. Hold on, let me set up everything for us. All right. We send it up. I'm ending this one and we're going to go to the next one, okay? Later.
Thank you for watching the infamous Sylvia channel, where laughter and fun make up our panel. Together we build this digital spree. We appreciate you and our growing family. With mods by our side and chat flowing free in this online space. It's just you and me, we laugh until tears roll down like the rain. In this virtual world, you ease all my pains. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mods and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night. We cherish the moments, the highs and lows, from the latest gossip to stories untold. You're more than a viewer, you're part of the crew in this space of ours. It's all because of you. This digital world where emotion is shared, every post and reaction showing we care. The love is real in this virtual domain. With every sign and joys we'll go gain. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mods and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mods and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night. This digital world where emotion is shared, every post and reaction showing we care. The love is real in this virtual domain. With every sign and joys what we'll gain. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mods and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night.